with the bad first. Tish, I think we messed up, man. We messed up last episode.
How we mess up?
Yeah, I'll get right into it. We gave out numbers and percentages. You know what I'm saying, Damon? So when me and Damon first started this podcast, one of our mentors told us, like, hey, if y'all gonna start talking about things that like could be facts and research, make sure y'all do your homework and do the science, you know? So last episode, me and Tish gave a lot of numbers out. Me and Damon kind of promised to just give our opinion so we don't get caught up like that. So now it's people fact checking our numbers and our percentages, you know? So Tish gave out a percentage. Tish gave out a percentage last episode, and like it changed like right after that. Like the money percent thing, it changed. Like it actually changed. Like the one that got approved changed right after that. So people hitting us up like, nah, that ain't the right numbers. Somebody asked me a question about the ELD numbers, and I'm like, you got me stuck, man. You know, so I want to go back to no numbers, you know what I mean? But and then Damon's back, right? We got Damon back. Damon back.
Yeah.
You back from what, Damon? Back from
Man, so I'm moving, right? I'm moving up to Washington State. So I got a lot of shit going on, man. I'm selling my house. I'm taking trips to Vegas, finna go on another cruise next week, man. I'm just doing a lot of things. I'm doing a lot of grown-up shit. You know what I mean? That's all I'm doing. A lot of grown-up shit.
Hey, so for the listeners, he couldn't pod because he taking trips to Vegas, man. That's kind of what I thought. No,
man, like
kind of what we got out of that, taking trips to Vegas, man.
No, man. Hey, I'm pretty much in my house right now, but I'm kind of like homeless at the same time, man. I'm like, nothing's in here. It's a shell. I'm pretty much sleeping out of a suitcase. All my stuff is already shipped to Washington. But hey, guess what? My dedication, man, I got me a little table here. I got some stuff set up, but I'm here to pod. I'm here for you guys, man.
Yeah.
I'll let your boy.
He in his house, but he homeless, guys. That's what I took from that one. Hey, so we do have some guests, right? The first one I'm going to introduce here, I'm going to tell you right now, man, you smarter than me. I already know that. You smarter than me. I'll let you know that from the jump. So I'm going to say some dumb stuff on here. You're going to be like, damn, he just said some dumb stuff. You smarter than me, man. So you just kind of go off of that one. But we got MMN3 Valterra. And you could introduce yourself however. You could tell them your first name, whatever. But N3 Valterra, what's up? How you doing, man?
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we can have some fun, man.
So, quick introduction, I guess. I'm Valterra. Currently stationed in Charleston at Pittside, which is like the final leg of the nuclear pipeline. And it's been crazy. I've been here for like 2 years. I just got soft orders to my carrier that I'm going to go on. And yeah, thanks for having me on. Hopefully I can dispel some myths about our schooling program, because there's definitely a lot. So yeah.
Nice.
What carrier are you going to? Right.
You wanted to lead in.
Oh, nice. I know somebody that's going. Another somebody that just came from there.
I almost got orders there. It was close.
Would you have taken them, Damon?
Yeah, because in San Diego.
Oh yeah, because you gotta go to Washington State, right? You gonna have some fun up there, man. D-Gus up there, man. Tell D-Gus I said hi, man.
I will, man. I will.
And then who else we got? So we got Petty Officer Jones.
That is me, PS3.
Mm-hmm.
God, I'm currently at a pregnancy command, HSC2, due to the fact that I recently just had a baby. He's 4 months old.
Congrats.
Yay. This is my 4th command. Crazy. I've only been in for a couple years. I'm going to let you know that now. Started from the Ike, the mighty Ike. From the Ike, I went to the Truman. I got cross-stacked because of marriage to someone on the same ship. And then from there, found out I was pregnant. Went to Jeb Little Creek, and from Jeb Little Creek, I went to HSC2, which I do love being there, and now I'm going to go to the Stennis. So I'm in Virginia Beach, Virginia right now.
And you on like a carrier pipeline, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tried to stay away, but it didn't work.
I guess Valterra pretty much carriers too, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe so. I don't know. Yeah.
So I got a question for y'all, like straight out the gate. We recently was talking about like E5 and below, E4 and below versus E4 and junior, right? And I'm pretty sure y'all both know the conversation. I'm not gonna give too much background for the listeners if y'all don't know. But what's y'all thoughts on that? Is E4 and below demeaning?
Once you start those.
Okay. Yeah, so to me, I just feel like E4 and below is something that's always been in the military in general. So I don't feel like it's as demeaning, but I feel like when it comes to certain leadership, when they say, yeah, you're E4 and below, and they say it with a certain attitude, I think that's when it becomes more so demeaning, because it's just like, hey, I'm letting you know you're below me. Versus, you know, E4 and junior. It's different. It's definitely different, because I've never heard, since I've been in the military for my 2.5 years, anyone ever say E4 junior sailor. Like, no, I really don't hear that. I mainly hear, yeah, you're E4 and below, and this is coming from someone that is higher than me. And it definitely gets demeaning how they say it, because when they say it, they give you like this certain eye contact, but they're letting you know, hey, you're below me.
Yeah.
From a mid perspective, it's really weird because we're all E4s. So once after A school, you become an E4, and then you can sorry enlist and automatically make E5. So for us, like E4, junior, no matter what, even E5s usually are considered like junior sailors to us. So is it demeaning? I mean, I'm allowed to swear, right?
Yeah, go ahead, man. We do it.
Yeah, I think part of a lot. We get shit on every day. That's a lot of people do. The top shit's on the bottom, and most of the time, from my experience, just with love, you know, they want you to be better. But I don't know.
So shit on with the love.
I was about to say
Shit
that's some
on.
R. Kelly shit.
Oh wow, Tish, wow.
Yeah, Tish. All right, one for Tish, man. Hey, so what's your thoughts on that, Damon?
Hey, so my thoughts, man, because you know, I actually heard the conversation too, man, and you guys was talking about it, and I'm gonna just call you Monique. I ain't going that Petty House of Jones every time. So Monique, I'm with you on this, man. I just think it's how it's used, right? I don't really like. I always say E4 and below too. It's never been a thing with me, but I'm one of those guys. When someone says something to me about it, then I'm gonna say, shit, now I understand where you guys coming from. So I'm with you though. It's always been E4 and below. But then when someone like bring it up, and we had when the captain brought it up too and said something about it, but it makes sense. E4 and junior, I got it, I understand it. But when some get addressed, it's stuff happen like this in the Navy all the time. We've been doing shit, we've been changing shit like right now. Because somebody done brung some shit up, then we say, shit. Well, I've been saying that shit for 20 years, you know what I mean? But it does sound a different way once you put it in perspective sometimes. I'm with it. I'm down with it. I mean, do I believe it's demeaning? No, but you also can say a lot of words that could be demeaning and don't mean it. So I'm with you.
Yeah, it's like it's in the eye of the receiver, man. You know what I mean? Like it's in
It
the
is.
eye of whoever it is that you talking to. You know, I think they're the ones that get to make it.
You know, find out demeaning? That's like a big controversy at our command.
What shipmate?
Yeah.
I don't say it.
I say it, because if I don't know your rank or your name, I'll be like, hey, shipmate, like, I'm just trying to help you out.
Yeah,
I know you're from behind. I can't see you. Like, how else am I gonna address you? But some people really don't like that.
So you pull up with the shipmate. You pull up from behind the shipmate.
Like, hey, shipmate.
Oh man.
They start thinking it's a chief. They think it's a chief calling them or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I thought you was a chief.
I think it's more about what comes after the hey shipmate. It's like, hey,
It is.
shipmate, and then you say something in general, you know, hey, you know, my name is blah blah blah. You know, it's just a general conversation. You're just, you know, like Monique said, if I don't know your rank or anything, or whoever said I don't know your rank or whatever, then I'm just gonna address you by shipmate. But if I'm screaming, hey, shipmate, across the grass to go hunt you down to tell you that you out of rags,
Yeah.
that's a whole nother story.
So when you hunt people
I'm
down and
act like
tell
I
them,
don't hear you, because you be like, hey, shipmate, I'm be like, there's so many of us out here. Who
See?
you talking to?
look, and that's where the aggression start. When you do that, Joe, look, Joe,
Oh,
when you
Joe,
act like you don't hear them,
yeah.
that's when they get more riled up. Hey, shit,
pouring
man.
out.
That's when they start coming to you like, shit, man.
Yup.
They do. I've had that happen a couple times on a ship. Like, a bunch of us walk in and I hear, hey, shipmate. I'm like, I don't know who they're talking to, so I'm just continue to walk. So I continue to walk. He tapped me on my shoulder. I'm like, all right, well, don't touch me now. Like, what you doing?
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
Where you from?
You gotta be like, you with the shaking head. You the one.
You know what I'm saying?
You
New
say-
York,
See,
What part of New York?
I heard the New York in
the
her.
Bronx, all day.
Oh, BX.
Yeah.
I heard it.
Okay. BX. You see,
Yeah.
you
When she said,
represent.
I know he ain't talking to me, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
Hey,
already.
Yeah, no, it get like
She gonna
I
be
don't know.
that
I
one that we
came
were
from
talking
the
about.
Ike.
Mm-hmm.
The
So
fighting
the
night.
Ike, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little, I love it. Like it's a great ship. Like I would love being on there, but I'm not gonna lie, I love being on there, but it's just the people, they made you like really tough for the
Yeah.
Navy.
We saw.
And we heard a lot about that.
Yeah,
Ike. No doubt about that.
We saw.
Yeah. Oh, Ike stayed in the news. Stayed in the news, man.
Yeah. Hey,
Ike.
I do want to congratulate everybody that advanced because those results came out to recently this week. So I do want to congratulate everybody that advanced. The quotas look kind of weird.
They did, Domo.
The quotas look kind of weird. Y'all saw that, right?
Yeah.
They look different.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
was talking about
pissed.
it. Yeah, so since we're on that right now, I want to give a big old congratulations to my son, man. He made IT2, Mark. So big congrats to Mark,
Second
man.
class already?
Mark already second class, man. Been in the Navy like 0 time already. So big shots out to him, doing big things. Fam, proud of you, man. Keep pushing, bro.
Hey,
but yeah, man.
But before while you shouting out IT2s, I want to shout out to Latano, who we had on a podcast fresh out of boot camp last year. He made IT2. He made IT2.
Hey.
So Mario Latano, shout out to you, man.
Hey, I'm not going to I'm so proud of all the IT2s, and I'm gonna try my best not to shit on you guys a little bit. It was like 539 that was up, and then on the quarters it said all. So all 539 that was up, 539 made it.
Congrats, y'all. Congrats.
Congrats. I try not to shit on you guys, though. I try my best. It was hard. Congrats, though. Congrats.
So what was up with the quotas?
I don't know, man. I think it's a lot. Things are changing now, right? For one, the things are changing when it comes to like, the DMAP stuff. That kind of figuring. You seen some rates, like a couple rates wasn't in there. I think. I know
ABE and DC.
Yep. And I'm a DC, so I looked at
ABE.
Yeah. I know that's kind of crazy, but I tell you, I was talking to Dumbo and Tish a little bit on our little chat thing. No, not a chat, but on the thing. But we need to talk a little bit more about the DMAP because that DMAP stuff is getting wild. Not only the phases, now they talking about how the command's gonna the command's in control of a lot of those rates too, and making rank and then when they make rank, they gotta go through the marketplace. So it's a whole lot more to that thing than I knew about. I was reading about it today. I was like, oh, I didn't know it was like this much. When all those phases, though, it's a lot going on right there.
Yeah, we'll get into it, man.
Yeah.
I do got an update though, because we talked about it. We notify in my command. We only notify the people that made it. Right, we don't call the people that didn't make it. We only notify the people that made it. You know what I'm saying? So I got a couple quick random questions for y'all. The first one is this: did y'all do y'all health of the force survey? No, I take that as a no. I take that as a no.
I did.
You did yours?
Yeah.
Nice. How was it?
It was okay. I mean, my command is like very stickler about a lot of things. So they don't play. Like the CEO send it out real quick.
That's good. Y'all did y'all health and not the DOX, right? The health of the force survey, right?
Mhm.
That's good. That's what's up. That's good. I mean, they need input, especially from junior sellers. That's what they need this input from. And some of these changes that we see, like I know people gonna think that this is like we get paid to say this, right? But some of these changes that we see actually comes from those health of the force surveys, right? So boom. That's my first quick question, right? My second, hey, for the listeners, I'm getting all my quick questions out the way. Then we're going to get into the deep stuff. We're going to talk the nuke stuff. We're going to talk about Jones' career. We're going to talk about all this stuff. My second quick question is this: should cops get better discounts than the military? Oh, y'all don't think so?
No.
So look, I work with MAs. One of the MAs told me, hey, if you ride in a patrol car with us, you could get a 50% discount at like food spots. He's like, yeah, we go to Burger King, whatever. He's like, we go here, you get 50% off because you in a patrol car. I'm like, because I'm in a patrol car. What about if I'm in uniform as a military service member?
10%.
So cops get better than 50%. 50% at Chick-fil-A is life changing. You know what I mean? That's crazy talk. All right, and then the last one is this. This is probably a bad one, but everybody here drink out of cans, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So y'all all drink out of cans, right? So you don't, Monique.
So I don't drink from the can.
Okay, so you don't drink from the can.
I don't put my lips on it.
What about you?
Yeah, energy drinks, whatnot from a can.
So straight out the fridge.
Where's this going?
Mouth to the can, straight out the fridge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't do it.
What about you, Tish? You straight out like long days.
Like,
you need some energy. You go grab a monster from some gas station that's dirty as hell. You open it up. You straight mouth to mouth.
So what I was always told is, if you gonna use the can, you gotta wash the can first before you open it.
All right, so here's a question. You in your car.
I typically, no, I'm gonna wait till I get to where I'm going.
So you don't use your spit as sanitizer? You don't use your spit as a sanitizer? Like you don't grab a napkin from your glove compartment, spit on it, wipe the can off? Because your spit not sanitizer.
My mama has done that before.
David do that. You can tell. I know David did that before.
My mama did that before. You can tell a rag and wipe it.
David, your spit not Purell, David.
Oh my God.
You did it before, David.
No.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth, David. Tell the truth.
I'm gonna tell you right now. What I do is when I get out of the store, I have a little napkin and wipe it. But I ain't spitting on it. I just wipe it. I ain't gonna lie. I'm going straight to. I wipe it to make sure ain't no crazy shit on it. That shit going down.
All right, y'all. We ain't telling the truth. We ain't telling the truth.
I ain't spitting on it though, bro. I don't spit on shit.
So the napkin
straws in my sanitizer.
Get it done. Oh, the napkin get it done.
Yeah,
you ever put hand sanitizer on the can? You ever put hand sanitizer?
I do. I have with straw.
You gotta
it's some sellers.
Y'all bougie on here, man.
I got a portable straw that I keep in my purse.
Yeah, y'all so bougie, man.
You flex it out.
You David, I'm just drinking.
You flex it out, and you drink out of it, and then you wash it later. I got pipe cleaners all over the place, even at my desk.
Hey, so
Dumbo, what you do, Dumbo? What you do?
It's some first time listeners like, what the fuck are they talking about right now? You know what I mean? If you're a first time listener, I'm sorry. You might have thought this was a military podcast. No, we talk about fucking cans and straws and stuff like that. All right, let's move on. Let's move.
Flight deck, no. If you on a flight deck and it's the still picnic. We all
still beach picnic, T. Still beach picnic.
Don't worry about Tish, guys.
I only got one appointment.
You still know the underway term.
Yeah, she'll know the underway term.
Hey, before Damon pressed me to answer this question, let's move on. Let's get into y'all stories. First, let's start with you, Valterra. Just like where you coming from, like what made you join, just some of that intro kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm from Seattle, Washington. I joined a little later. I joined when I was 22, turned 23 in boot camp. I joined to press the big restart button. Mm-hmm. So I would go nowhere fast, a high rate of speed. And to shorten it, I woke up one day and was like, I need a serious change. And I found myself in a recruiter's office. And I took a little test. And they were like, hey, you heard anything about our nuclear program?
Dang,
and they were like trying to sauce me up, like, look, you get all these benefits, everything. I was so done at that point. I was like, where do I sign? Hey, recruiters. Like, let's go. Like, we got his ass.
Got him,
coach. Easy money.
Yeah. Can I ask how much was your bonus?
Yeah, I got so it's actually on the lower end for nukes these days. I got 28K for my enlisted. Right after I signed on, they changed it to 38, and then people are getting like 50, and I heard 75 even now, which is insane. But I know some people who got 50K for their sign on, which is pretty wild. I feel exempt a little bit, but I'm grateful. Grateful for what I got.
When did you receive it? When did you receive your bonus? Did you have to go through school first?
Yeah. You'll do that instantly. So maybe anything out of boot camp. I did our A school, and still didn't get anything. And then I did the nuclear power school, which is in the same building. So A school for me is 3 months, power school is 6 months. And then after power school, I got the first third. And then I went to prototype, which, for those who don't know, there's like 3 moored submarines here that we train on. Called like on the job training. When I completed regular prototype, I got the final 2/3 of my bonus.
Still tough.
But I'm still here. I'm doing like that tertiary program here. You guys are on care. Damon, you're on carriers, right?
I was on one, yes.
You guys know what an ELT is? I'm guessing you do.
Just
ELT.
just talk to us like we don't know.
Yeah.
So I was originally a nuclear mechanic. It's called like the submarine MMN3 machinist by nuclear. But at the end, I got selected to be like a chemist. So I'm an engineering lab technician. So right now, I'm finishing up school to be like a nuclear chemist. And then I got like a month left, and then I'll be out to the fleet. But the whole process for me has taken over 2 years because of the extension.
Hey, so I think for like me and Damon, I think we call them oil kings. That's probably the closest. That's probably the closest we got to ELTs. So oil king, he taking lube oil samples, man.
Yeah, taking samples and shit, man. I don't know.
Go pull the fuel out the tank, man.
For us, we know that's it. That's it for us.
Man, so Prototype, right? It's a place where, and then I want to jump to Jones for a second, but Prototype, from what I hear from most of the nukes I talk to, they always tell me about getting in trouble at that's where they get in trouble. Why is it that like so many people get in trouble at Prototype?
So this is interesting. So we make E4 after A school when we're in power school, and there's barracks there. And then Prototype's weird. It's a separate command. It's right down the street. And Prototype, they don't have barracks. So you've only been out of boot camp for like 9 months, maybe a year, and they're like, go live on your own. Get your own house. Bunch of like 19-year-olds with their own place, getting BAH as an E4 because the no barracks thing. Yeah, there's definitely some trouble to get into. Got to keep your nose clean. I've seen it plenty of times.
And that's like out in town.
Yeah.
What up, man?
Yeah, that's real interesting, man, because I've been in the Navy for a hot minute. I know a lot of people that either come into a command or going somewhere and they say, yeah, I failed out of Prototype. So now I know why. Thank you, man. All these years I've been here, no one ever said those words to me, man. I learned something today. So now I know. So when you guys come to my ship saying you failed out of this school, that's gonna be the first question I ask you. Why you fell out, man? Why?
It's not just everyone's getting in trouble. It's a hard program.
That's it. That's it. They're coming in hungover.
Right.
They trying to pay. Get it in. That's what it is. Go ahead and take up for it, though. Go ahead and finish. Go ahead and finish. Take it up. Go ahead, man.
Prototype is like buds for smart people. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like the smart person's version of SEAL school, I think. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jones, what about you? What's your inception to the Navy?
Well, I have a little testimony. So I wasn't going to go into the Navy. Originally, I was going to go into the Marine Corps. That was my first thing. I had a little issue with one of the recruiters, and they just, cut me off. So I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm not going to let you stop me. Granted, I was 24 at the time. I was trying for 3 years. To get into the military. And I was like, I need to lose this weight. At the time, I was like 195 pounds. And for the Marine Corps, you got to be smaller than small. They don't do the taping thing. So I was like, all right, fine. Like, I'm going to do it. So I did it. And next thing you know, I get this call like, okay, we're not going to give you a waiver. And I'm like, all right, well, that sucks. But I was like, you're not going to stop me. So I waited. Time went on. I'm 27 years old. I was like, it's probably too old to go into the military. But I looked up the Navy and I was like, you know what? I'm going to still try it. So I tried it. My dad was happy because he was a Navy SEAL back in the day. So he was like very happy. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. I did it. I got in. And next thing you know, I was shipping out. And I was like, all right, this is kind of scary. Because I'm leaving my family. Got into boot camp, and I went in as an APAC because I just wanted to leave from where I was at. I needed to get away. So I was like, all right, well, this is my start. And I made a big impact in boot camp. From an E1, I became an E2. I passed all my tests with high grades. I went from what did they call it? When you're like a head of a pod area. Forgot what it's called. So sad.
I don't know,
but
I don't know.
what is
It
it
looked like
like?
Valterra knows.
It's off the top of my head. Yeah, it's not
But you're not talking about like RPOC.
You're
You're not talking about RPOC, are you?
No, I was A-Rock.
So
I
you
ended
were
up
the
becoming
A-Rock.
A-Rock.
Oh, so you're like a section leader?
They found out I could sing because I ain't gonna lie, I let my already see that, but she couldn't sing, and she kept trying. I was like, "Well, hold on, stop. Let me help you." I started singing, and she was like, "Okay." And the next thing you know, I don't know what they did, but they fired the A-Rock the next day that we had, and he was like, "Yeah, Joe, you're gonna do A-Rock," and I'm like, "What? This isn't okay. It's snowing." And I lost my voice the second day. So A-Rock was gone. I was out there whispering in the snow, like, dude, I can't do this. Like, this is crazy. But I did my time in boot camp, and next thing you know, that's when I got shipped to the fleet.
Like
She
it
did
was
a video.
hard.
Did your time?
Like it was hard labor, man. He did some hard labor.
Did my time.
It was a lot, man. Boot camp was like okay for me, but I'm not gonna lie. Like some RDCs, I guess they, when they see that you don't break, they try to break you, and when they couldn't break me, they just did the whole beating situation, as they call it. Like I didn't care. I was into fitness anyway, so I was like, that's fine. You're just gonna make me stronger. Like, and then it just got worse. It was like in my face, and I'm like, you're not even in my division, dude. Like, where'd you come from? Like,
So how were they trying to break you? What they was like telling you to walk
So
in ranks?
so when they would try to break me, they would like get in my face and like deviate me for like so many things. Like when it came to uniform inspections and everything like that, like my uniform was always nice. I'm never a dirty person. Like one, I have OCD, so I was very clean. And it was a thing. Like they would get in my face and like they'll throw stuff like on my rack, and I'm like, they know I don't like that.
So were you
So
helping
they're
out?
gonna try to break me in ways.
Were you helping out like the people in your area? Because that's what I used to get hit for. I used to get hit for like having the squared away rack, but like the dude that's right under me didn't, and the dude that was right next to me didn't. So they used to beat me
My
for
rack
that.
was always squared away. Like I'm not gonna lie, my rack was always squared away. It was the person that was under me and the two people over, like, and they'll just be like,
That's
"Oh,
why they
look
was
at your
beating me.
rack," and I'm like, "You're picking now. I know for a fact you're
Okay, do
picking,
it.
and it's okay because I'm gonna let you do your thing. But I'm gonna just take this hit." And they was like, "Oh, it wasn't folded." I was like, "I come from a family. A family. All right, we know how to fold them corners. So you're not gonna tell me I don't know how to fold that corner in a nice triangle."
Hey,
Were you
Valterra,
combative? Were you combative? Was New York
I
coming
was.
out?
Yeah, most definitely.
yeah,
Because they
You
would
got mad?
overweight and they would get in my face. Like
Yeah.
I didn't like that. And I would just be like, and they'll just like, don't look away. And I'll just be like, but you told me not to look in your eyes. So what do you want me to do?
No, so did they still
lose scenario?
Yeah, so for you, Valterra, and for you, Jones, do they still like mess your hair all up? Like, did you still have to get a haircut, Valterra, as soon as you went there? They took you all the way down?
Oh yeah. Well, all the way down. All the way down.
That's depressing. I heard they do different stuff with the women now, though. Like they don't make y'all do like
yeah,
they
no,
used to
because
do.
you're not gonna touch my locks.
Nah, they used to touch
is
all
a
that.
journey.
They used to.
touch all that.
Yeah, they cut all that back in my day. Back in my day.
Yeah, they used to.
Yeah.
But when I asked ahead of time, I said, "All right, hold on, I could keep my hair," and they was like, "Yeah." I said, "All right, now I'll cut it when I'm ready, but don't touch my hair because I won't do it."
A couple years earlier,
They used to
you
chop
even
that
been going
shit
back to
up.
the Bronx. You've been walking around looking crazy. For real, you know what I mean? They used to get us out when they took my bald now, but when they took my hair off, it was a couple strands that I knew wasn't coming back. You know what I mean? And I was upset. They went against the grain. I'm like, at least you could have cut,
with the grain.
took it right off, yo. You know what I'm saying? Hey, so like, what's some just to kind of get into it, what's some of the problems that y'all feel like, as far as y'all's rank and stuff like that, what's some of the problems that y'all feel like y'all facing right now, military wise, Navy wise, or even like just the state of the country, however y'all want to kind of answer that.
Go ahead, Tara.
You think y'all getting paid enough? Let me kind of, I'll work it. You think y'all get paid enough?
Love it. Never getting paid enough.
Never.
Never get a pay increase though from you guys. So
That's the first time you heard that?
how come my command doesn't tell me? Usually, you know what's also crazy? The first question you asked about that survey, I haven't even been told anything about that. So there definitely is a little bit of a disconnect from wanting to hear our voices. Like, what do you like?
So but y'all probably don't follow my Navy HR on Instagram.
I do.
Not that one. I follow some Navy stuff.
I'm a PEDS.
Hi guys.
Yeah. You a PA. But so I would propose you follow my Navy HR. They got a good thing going, honestly. So I gave my Navy HR like Navy Entity of the Year for like the last 3 years. But their Facebook, their Instagram, they do got like you got Fleet Terrell. He'll get on. He just got on made a new post about the health of the force survey. My Navy HR doing what they supposed to do right now. And they killing it. So I definitely better. Yeah, and they only getting better. So I recommend that one. You'll find all of that stuff. I think sometimes we get caught up, like, because somebody was talking to me about fitness, like a civilian. He said he like was running somewhere and he ran into like some army people. He trying to talk to me. He was running somewhere and he ran into some army people and he thought they were going to outrun him, and he wound up outrunning, these army guys. And he was asking me, he was like, should that have happened? I'm like, yeah, man, like, I'm not surprised. You know what I mean? But it's honestly because, like, for instance, let me use myself as an example. I just got to my command in the last 2 weeks. So I got there, I'm expecting to work out in the gym in the morning, right? If I work out in the gym in the morning, I got to wake up at like 3:30 if I want to get to the gym by 5, work out from like 5 to 7. And then I got a meeting at 7:30. So between 7 and 7:30, shower, whatever like that, get ready for the meeting. I get to my command and the gym is closed, right? So I can't work out at the gym at my command. So now it's like, all right, I would have to work out at lunch, but I really don't have a lot of time to work out at lunch because I'm a senior enlisted leader, right? So like we might have a meeting at 12, or a meeting from 11 might run into 12, or a meeting from this time. And then by the time I'm getting off work, like 1700, I got to come home to my baby, my wife. I got like real like life responsibilities. So I know Damon, and I'm trying to explain it, Damon, because I know you ain't seen my watch. We got the watches, we sync our watches. But I haven't been able to get a good workout in a few days because of responsibility. And I think that's how it is with a lot of people in the military. It's like you want to do this and you want to do that, but do you really have enough time to prioritize all of this? And what's the first thing that's going to drop off after training? PT.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we got, I just know we got like a lot of competing interests, but I say all that to say that what you're talking about, like things like the health of the force survey and like certain nav admins and certain stuff like that. And I'm not making an excuse for anybody, but I think a lot of people just trying to like catch up with the day and whatever they got going on and priorities, that they don't get the white space to be like, yo, let me sit down and prep this information for my sailors. You know what I mean? And I say that because like my own confession is we were putting out stuff on here before, like on this podcast, and a sailor hit me in a DM. They was like, man, y'all giving me information that my chain of command not giving me. And then I thought about it and I'm like, yo, I'm not putting this out to my division. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not even putting the shit out that I'm putting on a pod to my division. So that's when I kind of made a round turn, and me and my first classes, we started making sure we was keeping that energy, with our division. And I got some creative ways that I'm gonna do that with my command as well, like with my chief's mess and stuff like that. We got to make sure we giving the information, even if people seem like they don't want it. Because I can't lie, y'all don't, like I'm talking, for junior sellers, y'all don't always seem like y'all want it. People looking mad as hell. You standing in front of me, y'all looking like, mad as hell. No.
Man, he talk too much. Talk too much, man. Like,
here come senior. Every conversation just feel like it's about to be too long, man. You walk in the room, you got a bunch of mad faces. You like, man, look, guys, I'm gonna keep it short. You know what I'm saying? So y'all gotta give us that.
You wanted to say, and you'd be like, nah, I'm gonna wrap it up.
On this side of it, y'all, it ain't always as easy as it might look like it is to get in front of a group of y'all and see them faces and see people look like they ready to go. A couple people check their watches, some sidebar conversations, couple smirks. You got like, and you could go and like Damon, for instance. Damon could go and kind of gain the room and get control over the room, but you we know it's a limited amount of time and attention span that people have for all of that. Like we be sitting on this podcast breaking down nav admins, like line by line sometimes. If your chief did that in quarters,
you'll be
quarters, you'll be like, what?
Yeah.
You know, that's like a sit down setting. I mean, what, like, how would y'all want to receive that kind of information on a regular workday?
Just send me an email. I'll read it. I got to go. I have a child to get home to, and I got to get my workday started. So just send me the email. I promise you I'll read it. Just make it a priority.
Like to hit the priority icon?
Yeah, because that's what they do. Because if it's not a priority, it's going to fall at the bottom, and I'll eventually see it. Being a PS, it's something we got to do.
Yeah, that's ain't no engineers don't know what that priority thing is. They just not reading it. Just not reading
Half of them don't even have access to a computer.
Oh, yeah. No, it's like, hey, did you check? I ain't checked my I honestly, senior, I ain't seen my email in the last 3 weeks.
Exactly.
Hey, that's real talk.
Exactly.
That's real talk right there.
What about you, Valterra? Like, how would you want to receive that? Like the information we put out on this podcast. How would you prefer to receive that on like a normal work day at your command?
So for the new command, it's kind of interesting. They're like really into Discord, so they actually force us all into these Discord chats, which are actually kind of useful for like connecting to your peers. See what's going on. I do wish that our leadership was more active in those spaces. So I agree. Like send me an email or send me a message. Send me a Discord message. Because we're already there. We're already all in these with my division chat. So yeah, it is a hard balance because I totally agree. Like senior chief comes up and he's like, "All right, gather around," and I'm like, "It's 16:30. Like I'm out here at like 4 a.m." But it is important stuff that is swept under, and I want to engage. I want that information. It's gonna be useful. I understand.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you how, I'm like what Dumbo was saying, man. When I come in the room, I see the same side eyes, I see the same face, I see the same crazy stuff when they get up. They know I'm about to talk, but I'm gonna let them know ahead of time that hey, I'm finna say what the hell I gotta say because you guys ain't finna come around and then say, hey, see you didn't put that out. Right? So I'm checking it off. You guys can be mad at me all you want. But I'm finna check it off my little notebook saying I told you guys this shit, right? So I'm putting it out, no doubt.
And I'm waving bye to you in the parking lot when we leaving after that. Like, all right, I'll see y'all Monday.
But timing is everything though, because like you said, you coming at 16:30, talking about all right, gather around, and this is the last talk before it's time to go. Like I'm not listening to a damn thing you saying. I'm just waiting on have a good weekend. You gonna have to say that earlier. Like I feel like after lunch is a good time.
Tish, you correct about that. Now I'm talking about that quarters in the morning. I ain't putting shit out at 16:30.
Especially on a Friday.
You got some leaders that like that end, like let's have an end of the day powwow. For what? I've been here all day.
Nah.
Like that.
I ain't doing it at 16:30.
You ain't say shit to me all day. Now you coming at 16:30, want to have a conversation? Nah.
Yeah, and I've done end of days, but if we doing end of days, that mean we doing something wrong. Like we, So to my people that's listening, that was like, yeah, we have done end of day. Yeah, we was doing something wrong, guys. But yeah, that mean we, the follow up game not right. It's something not happening. That now the people that do the standard end of days, I don't know why they do that. It's just too much, too much happening. So what do y'all like about the Navy? We ain't get to the other one. We get to that later, I guess. But what's keeping y'all in? What's motivating y'all to kind of, do this thing?
I'll start. I'm pretty. I think being money about different ends of the spectrum. Pretty on Navy as they say. I think part of it is before the Navy life was pretty rough. It sucked, and mostly on me, not on like my family or anything. I just was making a lot of bad decisions. And I needed some structure in my life. I like some structure. I know, to be honest. I never really had much money before, and I always feel like I need to get paid more. But just as a noob, I'm making the most money that I've ever made. yeah, structure, some camaraderie. Maybe I've been completely brainwashed, but I really do feel like I'm doing something cool, something of use. You know, I think my job's pretty cool. Well, I suppose, you guys seen the new Navy recruitment videos? Have you guys seen the new one?
Just go like we did.
Yeah.
That might be the name of the episode.
Yeah. I don't know, it shows all the different like jobs in the Navy, and it's all like, oh, we in the Navy, we're all doing cool stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'll be watching those, it comes up, and I'm watching YouTube, I'm like, well, that's me. What? That's the cool stuff. I'm taking my bow. What is this being through? Especially now working on like the actual submarines and finally being able to like the school and actually like testing stuff and doing those chemistry analyses. But it's not giving me an opportunity to do stuff that I never would have done going down like the civilian path I was going. Yeah.
Hey, Valterra, I want to give you a heads up, man, that I know you're going to a carrier, man, and I'm glad you're making a lot of money because you finna earn every bit of it. As a nuke on a carrier, you're about to earn every bit of it, man.
But keep that attitude.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And trust me, it's rewarding for you guys too, though. Don't get it twisted. It's rewarding, but most definitely gonna earn it though.
Yeah, y'all kind of run that outside of air. That y'all like the second.
Both of you guys together, Aaron,
Air
and Nukes run the carrier.
Air is crazy and on the carrier, like the mat boards, like I don't want to get into how much power Air got on the carrier, but Nukes like right after. Nukes don't got to fight with Air. Like Nukes kind of get what they want to get, react kind of get what they want, but Air get everything. What about you, Jones? What you love about this thing?
I'm not gonna say love. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's more of a like situation, and some days it's a dislike. So, that being said, what's keeping me in is stability. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say financial stability because in the outside world, I could make more. I was making more, but this is a family legacy, so I wanted to continue that. So that's what I'm doing. Now, am I gonna be a lifer? It's still up in the air. But as of right now, I do have, a little person that I have to take care of. So that is my main priority. And with that, I'm just like, all right, I had this career being in the military, which, it's something that my family is known for, being in the military. So as I continue this, I am just going to make the best of it. And that's what I'm doing right now. With everything changing, I'm okay with adapting, but some changes I'm not with. So that's what brings the dislike. And that's what make me rethink career-wise as far as the Navy. But for right now, I'm staying in. I have no choice. I'm on the contract.
And you're married. You're married to a military member, right?
Yes, we're mil to mil. We are married. But it happened.
Okay.
I told myself I wasn't gonna be that person. But
What,
I'm
like
that
the boat boost success story? That's what you're talking about?
It happened so quick. I ain't even get to do my dirt.
Oh my God.
Dudes be waiting.
Way too quick.
Success.
He got me.
Congratulations. Congratulations, big dog.
I saw it was me. I had to get, I was like,
congratulations, big dog. Success story.
Check you off.
So what's his outlook on the Navy? Is it like similar to yours? So
I think he's more upset about the officer program, and I get where he's coming from. Me being a PS, I'm finally picking PS and making that rank. I'm gonna dig into it and help my husband because my thing is he's been trying to go officer for a while, and him being an ABE like sucks, bro. I'm not gonna sit there and say it don't. And what they just did to them as far as like advancement is crazy. So I'm, telling him, I'm like, keep your head up. Don't give up. Continue to try to get an officer program because we've had a lot of people come on the ship that we was on and, they was just talking, but they didn't tell you, hey, this is how you get into the officer program. It's like they have some secret code. And I'm like, your thing is to, as a higher up, to help the junior sailors as an officer. So why would you not inform them exactly how to do it?
Mm.
And
Mm.
that's my issue within the Navy. They do not inform you how to do it. They pick and choose, and I've seen it with my own eyes. They pick and choose certain people that they will help all the way through to get through the officer program, to get the package started and everything. And I don't feel like that's fair. And he is upset about that. But what I'm gonna do as a PS is dig into the officer situation, talk to the NCs, because a lot of them know a lot of things, and go from there.
Does he have an NC at his command?
So he's currently on beach debt because, well, he's currently on hold. He
Oh,
don't
okay.
really have like a place to be.
Got it.
Uh-huh.
So there's a Facebook group. I think it's called like Mustangs or something. And there's a lot of I've seen people get on there and they can reach out to get mentors within the community, and they can help them with putting their package together. And like, these are people who are, they're officers who are on there that are looking to engage with sailors who are interested in becoming an officer. So you may want to have him, if he's not already, to get on there and maybe just kind of put himself out there and make a post saying, hey, this is who I am, like do a quick intro and just tell him what program he's looking to go into, and just ask for a mentor. And I'm pretty sure somebody will reach out.
Yeah, hey, and Monique, I mean, you could also reach out, man. I most definitely point you in the right direction too. But I also want to add something to what you said, though. I don't think that's a Navy thing, though. I think that's a command or a culture wherever you at right now type stuff, because I know commands, and I know when it comes to officer programs and things like that, they on top of it. They want the next big thing. They want the relief. They want a lot of this stuff. So I don't want you to think like it's a Navy thing. The Navy is doing is that command doing that shit. You know what I mean? Because also these people out there that really, want to look out for people and really want to help them succeed by any ways necessary. So I just wanted to add to that.
Yeah, man. I always, and we've been talking about that a lot. That's been like the theme of a lot of like the conversations and the things that I don't say sometime in this podcast is like different people have different experiences in the Navy, and then based off of that experience, like that's the Navy. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what it is. Like my experience in the Navy is the Navy. So when people say something to me like, yeah, this happens, and this happened, and I say like, yeah, I never saw nothing like that, and they be like, yeah, you bullshit, man. like, I'm like, no, like the Chiefs I had cared about me. Nah, you bullshitting. I'm like, no, they really did. Like, I love them. Like, I got love for these dudes. You know what I mean? Like, I never witnessed that. So it's always so surprising because like you're like, and there's some people that get out as second classes, and never had good chains of command.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's like their naval experience. The Navy sucks. Like all officers suck, all chiefs suck, all first classes suck because they never like they were on one command in their career or something like that, or two commands, and they never got like that good experience. Meanwhile, you got like me or people like when I got to my first ship as a chief in 2 weeks, some junior sailor came up to me and he was like, "Hey, chief, you had good chiefs when you were a junior sailor?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I could tell." I was like, okay. Yeah, that's what he told me when I got to when I was on a ship with Damon. That's what he told me. You know what I'm saying? But what like program? I'll start with you, Jones. What program in the Navy was the most beneficial to you? Like so far up to this point of your career?
I would say JEA.
Okay.
It was it taught me a lot because me being a junior sailor, it actually like on the ship I was on, like they talked a lot about different things and they let us open up and be ourselves, because certain, programs or, any collateral that you get, they some of them they act a little fishy and you're just like, okay, I can't really talk to you. So but JA, it made me feel like I could talk to them. I was very like open about a lot of things and they helped me with figuring out how to maneuver within the military. Knowing that I'm freshly coming in and things like that. I first got to a boat and I was like, I need to figure out how to maneuver through this because this is new to me and I want to be able to adapt in the best way possible. Granted, I am older, I am mature, but this is a different atmosphere than the civilian world.
Your
So
husband wasn't
they
in
definitely
JEA.
opened a lot of doors for me.
Your husband wasn't in JEA when you joined, was he?
Yeah.
I figured.
Everybody got
See, I told
together.
you, I be figuring y'all out, man. I be figuring y'all out. See, you gotta give, for the listeners, look, y'all gotta give me my props, man. I could tell. A
Yep.
warm welcome.
Warm, yeah.
Valterra, what about you? Which program for you was the most beneficial up to this point?
So I don't know if this is exactly like a program of the sense you're thinking of, but in A school and Power School, we have section leading payoff strips, which I know that term's used a lot, and prototype or PSAs. But they're basically a nuke who doesn't do any actual teaching or schooling. They're just there to be a life coach. In A school, I had a chief SLPO, and there was a point where I was like, I messed up. This is way too hard. This is way too difficult. I'm not as smart. Like, I'm just gonna ring the bell. We try to not do this. And he was there just to like mentor me, life coach me and give me that motivation. It's a newer thing. I prototype the DSA. It's like Director Student Advisor. It's a newer program that they implemented because they realized they need more than just like instructors teaching you math problems. Like they need someone who can just be a life coach. Like let's talk about math. Let's not talk about chemistry. Let's talk about like how's your whole life. How's your car? How are your roommates? Are your roommates keeping you up all night playing video games? Is that why you're having some issues? How's your family? It was just super important to motivate me and push me through.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
That's real. That's good stuff. Hey, real quick, Monique said something that I want to touch on a little bit about, finding your voice. Hey, that's everywhere. Figuring things out, finding that path. Good big shots out of JA, right?
Mhm.
But it's everywhere you go to is like that though. Everywhere, like when you become a first class, now you got to figure that out. You become in the chief mess, you need to figure that out. How you gonna maneuver? How you gonna do things? It's all the way up. You have to figure things out, and it's good you had that. Someone to tell you how to maneuver, and it's only gonna get better. It can get tough in some situations, gonna get better in some situations, but it's always gonna be there, and you always gonna grow from that. Every one of those situations. Like now you're in a JEA, you talking, you doing your thing. So once you make first class, it's gonna be easy now for you to get in there and do what you need to do and how to maneuver, and it's gonna continue to get easier. But that's good. I'm glad you said that because even in civilian world, that shit happens. You know what I mean? When you get a job for the first time, you still gotta figure your fucking way out, right? You still gotta do it.
You definitely do. Yes, agreed.
And make sure that when you get, as you climb the ranks, that you kind of pay it forward and be that same voice for those new sailors that are coming in that are trying to figure it out. Because what you don't want to do is get up there and now you holding all the information and you being the gatekeeper, or just be that helping hand for other sailors that's coming up. Since that's how, like what Damo was saying, like somebody was like, oh, I can tell that you had good leadership because of just how you are. So pour that back in.
Yeah, that all of that, like, is like, I would say it's all developed from experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all only been in Jones now? You said about 2 years, couple years?
2.5 years.
2.5. And what about you, Valterra?
Also, just over 2 years.
Yeah, so y'all on different sides of the spectrum as far as like y'all's outlook, but for the Jones outlook, a lot of us had that outlook, 2.5 years in. I know right now where I'm at, I go see this. I was stationed here before when I was at E5, where I'm stationed at now. And I go see the civilians that's, still at the command. And they like, yo, you still in the Navy? I'm like, yeah. They're like, well, you told us every day that you was getting out. You hated life. You this, that, And it was, I was doing a lot. I was working hard. I was getting a lot done. But it was also like, I was real comfortable about bitching about it. You know what I mean? So that's what they heard me do a lot. Like, man, I hate this place. I hate this. Meanwhile, I'm working hard, studying, getting my quals. And eventually the bitching kind of turned into like taking care of my sailors and doing things for them. It kind of morphed into that to where it just made me like a leader. You know what I mean? Just off of just feeling like I was taking hits or feeling like nobody heard me and stuff like that. So you might turn around, Jones, in like 6-7 years, be mama bear to a group of PSs, taking care of them, making sure that the things that you might have felt like didn't happen for you, trying to make sure that it's not going to go that way for them and stuff like that. Because it's forged like that a lot of times.
Yeah, for sure.
I was Mama Bear in boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy thing is, I'm still Mama Bear to them kids today because I was older, and I'm like, they still text me and call me like, what should I do? I'm like, all right, this is what you should do. And as of now, I'm at a pregnancy command until I leave, and it's just like I'm Mama Bear to them kids too. And I'm like, I don't understand what's going on here. Like, you all had kids. I thought you be a little more mature. Like, everybody has a maturity level, but my thing is to be there for them regardless, and to help them. And that's what I'm going to do, because I know that I didn't have as much help certain times when I wasn't in JEA. So because of that, I'm going to continue that. And as I continue that, I hope the next person underneath me follows the same thing.
Yeah, it catches us by surprise, y'all. Like this leadership thing, this Navy thing, and like you ask a lot of people, because I put out that question at one time, and I want to talk a little bit about it. But like when I was like, hey, I went to this room and nobody, everybody said they didn't want to be a chief and stuff like that. But when I think back when I was a junior sailor, like I had like aspirations, but it was a lot of things I didn't have aspirations for. But it really catch you by surprise. Like I cried, man. Like when we finished N-Serve, y'all, like it's a little confession. Like when we finished N-Serve, I stood in front of my division and cried, like as if like I was Kobe Bryant and I won a championship. You know what I mean? Like I didn't expect. I cried, y'all, and then I cried, of course, when I left that command and stuff like that. But I did not expect to cry because of a damn N-Serve. I never would have thought that. Like even before the end of N-Serve, I didn't think like 10 minutes before it was over, I wasn't like, yo, I'm gonna get in front of my division and cry. I didn't think that, you know what I mean? And it just happened, and it's like, I know like my sellers probably, it's like some people might have been inspired and some people probably was like, what the hell is wrong with Chief? Like, why is he crying?
That'd have been me.
Was in
bro.
the green. Like, we were in the green. What's wrong with Chief? But
lips trembling with your lips trembling.
I was also like a couple months away from transferring, so it was just all of those like emotions, and we finished without our LPO, who was like the heavy hitter. This is after like EM1 left, Damon. And he was our like heavy hitter that we really like. Some people might have thought we really, really needed him there for it, and we did it after he left. And like I wanted my guys to know, like, hey, we're a team. Like we do this together. You know what I mean? It's not like one person. It made me cry. So that's what I'm saying. Like this thing catch you. I know Teach probably got a story like that. Damon, like you, Valterra. I think he been, blue, red, white, blue forever. You know what I mean? Like, so it might not have, but even like Joanne Bass, like the Air Force, the last senior enlisted person for the Air Force before she turned over, she ain't, like she was in the military for like over 12 years before she really bought into, the service and stuff like that. So it kind of happens to a lot of us. Most people say their third tour.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. You just kind of stick with it.
Yeah, man. Hey, I need from you guys, man, real quick, man. You guys ain't been in like 2.5 years, but you guys got one of those memorable moments in y'all 2.5 years that stand out that you can tell the listeners about?
I mean, so at the end of like the pipeline, right, qualifying new, you do like a final oral board, which is pretty intense. It's like, you guys have done oral boards for different things. This is the first time I've ever done one. I'm 2 years in, and that feeling of them, like, they like kick you out of the room. They're like, Brett, you leave. All right. You went outside. All right. You guys do some sport things. I'll know. And then they bring you back, and they're like, "Oh, you think you did?" I'm like, I'm always saying, like, let it on. All right. I'm trying to gauge yourself.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, anybody done? And that feeling of them being like, yeah, you made it. It's just like after like 2 years of just like 12-hour days schooling, like. It's a crazy feeling. It's a crazy feeling. If there's any young dudes watching this, I just want. I know you're young there, so you getting down at the school. Then we got plus hours. You got like 8-hour day and plus 4 hours of studying. I guess sucks, but like at least for me, it it was worth it. Like it's satisfying feeling like reaching the end. Even though I ended up doing a little more time because chemistry school, like it's rewarding. You know, I don't know. It's a incredible feeling.
Yeah.
And that's a career gig, right? What you went to the chemistry school for, that's your job now. And if you do 20, right? Like that's what you're going to be doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
Is your
before you
plan
go,
to do 20?
oh, go ahead. Yeah,
Is
he
your
doing
plan to
20.
do 20?
He doing
Yeah,
20.
yeah,
Valterra?
he doing
No,
20.
so here's my thoughts. Yo, I just don't feel like making chief is hard. Like for nukes, like we have to qualify this thing about engine wash supervisor. So it basically means you have to qualify everything in the reactor. So also be like a nuclear electrician, nuclear mechanic, a nuclear reactor operator, a nuclear chemist. I'm pretty new on Navy, but at this point, I just feel like it's way too difficult. Like I don't know how you guys like. It just seems impossible.
Hey,
There's so much
hey,
to do. Like,
Valterra. Let me interrupt you real quick, man. So first off, I don't think it's as complicated as you think for you guys to make chief, right? I'm gonna say that because I've been on a carrier. These nukes making it at 8 years, 9 years, like very young guys making chief, like really young. Even when I made chief, I was in like 13. We had people in 7 years, 8 years as nukes that was making chief. But you're right, it is a lot of work to put in. I ain't gonna lie about you that, because the quals they have to get and the things they got to do like quarterly and all this stuff, it's repetitive. It's a lot of work. But those guys, you get with a good team, man, you'll make it happen, man.
I was just about to say, yeah, because the fact that it's a lot of work means a lot of people won't do it.
Yeah.
So if you just do the work, you're probably already in the door.
You'll be fine. You're gonna look back like at this podcast and be like, man, I really thought I was like, I felt like that about the E-SWAT spin, man.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I'm never gonna get this E-SWAT spin, man. This spy radar is kicking my ass, man.
Yeah, man.
Then I got
E-SWAT spin was crazy.
VLS, man. Oh my God, I gotta learn all this about VLS, man.
Yeah,
then
I know.
got it, man. That's how you gonna. That's how you gonna look back at all this. Like, man, this was a whole lot.
Hey, Monique, before you go, for all the Aura board people, man, that you a board member, when you kick them out and bring them back in, I need you to get a little bit more energy about you.
Bro.
No. To say I passed. No. Did I kick y'all ass in here? Did I do my thing? Did I do what? No. Hey, you passed. You get on out of here now. No, I need that. I need that energy from you guys,
man. We can't. You gotta have them on their toes, David. Like stone face, like.
Nah,
just like that.
Like not impressed.
They coming in, they like,
like they not impressed. Come on, man.
Yeah. How'd I do? You know, a couple questions off, but you did a decent job, man. Congrats. You got the point.
Can I say one more story? I got a good one. We just took our final exam for this chemistry program. There's 4 of us that took it, and our lead ELT brought us in. This is what he said. He said, I got your scores. One of you guys failed. I'm not telling you who it is. Go and study and sit and think about that. And I'll tell you maybe at the end of the day. You didn't even know that some of us till the next day.
That's torture.
So, yeah, it was kind of messed up, but
yeah, he wanted to see the world burn. Like he wanted y'all to. He had a camera. He was watching y'all somewhere. He had a hidden camera somewhere. That's like a Saw. That's like a Saw movie type torture right there.
Yeah, that's wild right there. That's a wild story right there, man.
Night.
That is a wild story, man.
He probably always do it too. Like,
this group.
Let's see how this group reacts.
So did anybody actually fail, or did he just say that?
Yeah. It was not good.
Okay.
Exams. You got to retake it. You got to take it till you get one more shot, baby. You'll be all right. But,
Yeah. Was it one of those things where you got to take care of each other? Like you supposed to help them out or something like that?
Okay. Everybody go in not knowing who failed, but everybody's in it trying to help each other, because if that one person fell, you like, all right, holla at your player, good luck.
Yeah. So y'all went back and studied together? Y'all went back and studied together?
Yeah.
So here's the question.
Had to, because they didn't know.
So when y'all went back and studied together, could you tell who might have been the failure? Like, hey, bro.
I wanted to be like, you got to be nice. You don't want to be like, Okay, well, it's obviously petty officer over here, but yeah, it's, you kind of like, I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm one of the people past, like,
I probably would have called Damon like, "Hey, Damon, do you think it was Tish, man? Because this sounds like shit. None of that shit we was talking about last night. I think it was Tish. I think we good, Damon.
Yeah, we good. We good, bro.
Right. And then is that the person who felt like, hey, I think when we gonna study?
Like go hard.
They ain't never trying to go home. Like, no, we got to study longer, harder.
Yeah.
Like, no, you the one who failed.
Hey,
I'm
that's
going
crazy,
to bed,
though. That's
buddy.
a good story, man. That's crazy. Wow. All right,
So-
Jones, what you got? What Monique? Oh,
Yeah, I was
Monique
about to ask Jones. Are you at a command where you're in rate? I know you said you're on your pregnancy tour.
Yes, so that's where I ended up picking up my rate as a PS because I was gonna go MA. I was with the MAs for a while, it just fits my demeanor. But I had to think about, hey, I'm having a baby, and the hours are crazy. Trying to deal with working in May and everything like that. I end up, picking PS, which was, fine. And then I ended up getting PS3. And hopefully soon I'll be PS2.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Have you had a traumatic experience in the Navy?
I have. It was, a friend of mine. And, I posted on my Instagram, but, Sapper, we all know what that is. Most of us should. Well, I went to his house for, if you don't mind me telling the story.
Yeah. If you don't mind telling it.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I just want to bring awareness to it, for a lot of not just females, but males as well. But, SA, which is sexual assault, it happens a lot. And that's the main thing in the military that no one likes to talk about, but it happens. And people want to silence you, but I was not going to be silenced. I went to his house. Mind you, he's a friend of my husband's, and we're all in the military together. Been to his house multiple times before, and he was my first official friend, I feel like, when I got to my boat. And, he taught me everything, but I feel like that was him trying to figure out things. Got married, got with my husband and everything, and I feel like that was his point of, this is my time to take advantage. So it was happened on New Year's. He was having a party, went to his house, and that was just like, hey, where's everybody at? I'm not gonna lie, I was on color people time. Whatever. I was just on that type of time. I'm not getting there till later. So I got there late, and I'm like, usually he's had parties before, and I'm like, okay, you have had parties before, where's everyone at? Mind you, his wife also was in the Navy. His wife knew of me, and I don't just enter someone's home and not let that wife know. So, I informed his wife. She was like, okay, I'm upstairs. And I'm like, are you going to come downstairs? I'm down here with your husband. Okay. And my husband had duty. So he was like, hey, it's cool. Go ahead, go. I know that's your friend. And I was like, all right, fine. I'll go without you, but I'll come back to the ship to bring in the New Year's with you. But this friend of mine had other motives, and he began to drink, and me being his friend, I'm like, hey, I hope you know, like, this is Jones, I'm not your wife, don't touch me in that way. Then it got to the point where it started to get really intensely physical. And my thing is, the wife is upstairs, I'm pretty sure she hears us. Why is she not helping me? And she didn't. And I felt alone. I didn't know what to do in that situation. Granted, my thing was, hey, fight. But I was just like, if I fight, there's so much explaining I have to do to the military. And I'm not gonna lie, the first thing I thought of, if I fight him, they're gonna lock me up. And I'm like, it shouldn't be that way, but sometimes that happens. So I ended up fighting him off. And at that time I'm running, but I got chased down after being sexually assaulted. I got chased down to my car from him. And, you know, I was trying my hardest to push him away, but he's a pretty big dude. So like if I use any type of weapon, it's a lot I have to explain. Which I did have a weapon in my car, but I'm like, you know, if I use that, I can't explain, you know, I can explain it, but they're gonna be like there were other alternatives.
Mm.
And I just feel like they wasn't gonna see it from my perspective anyway. So I ended up, you know, going back to my ship and informing my husband and informing the MAs because I was with them at the time. And we went from there. And from there, you know, panic attacks have gotten better. And it has been a year and some change that, you know, PTSD still comes back and forth. But I'm not gonna lie, it's hard for me to trust people within the Navy because of that. Because I never wanted to be a victim to anyone. But I became one so early in my career that it scared me to the point like I didn't want people to touch me. I didn't want people to say certain things to me. And I didn't want to be that way because I love to laugh. I love to joke around, say crazy things. But now when someone says something crazy, I'm looking like, are you serious? Will you really do that? And I don't want to live like that. And I don't want my career to be based on that. So I was a victim is how I'm going to play it because I'm no longer a victim because I'm taking me back. It took me a long time, I feel, to get that way, but I'm taking myself back and I'm never going to let anyone from myself or any other female or male stay silent in a situation like that. I will do everything I can to help them.
How do you feel like the process went as far as like you reporting it and then the command taking action and his accountability or him being held accountable?
I'm not gonna lie. I feel that the command failed me at one point because he wasn't supposed to be on a underway we went on. And me going through that traumatic experience, they end up flying him back on. And you know, I'm armed up with the MAs and I see this guy that they told me was no longer on the ship. And I see him staring right in my face. He stops, I stop, and I panic because I'm like, this isn't supposed to happen. Like, you're not supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm.
So on the legal standpoint, they did everything. But I feel like from this triad, I feel like they told me because they knew. You know,
So you
when I
feel
talked
like
to
they
you personally.
Because they probably put mission over like the sailor
Yes.
in that situation. Yeah.
And I get you need people, but you want someone like that in your Navy? And I wasn't the first victim of his, which kind of threw me when I found that out. And I'm like, you're continuously letting this person stay within the military and hurt women.
I'm assuming you found that
and
out.
They're getting reported.
Other women who was like, hey, it happened to me too.
Well, no, I found it out from my husband because the person was his friend.
Mm.
2 other females.
Oh.
So, you know, his motto is, hey, let me try to get you drunk. But me, I'm like, nah, you can't do that to me. I'm way too mature. Like, you know your limit.
Exactly. I'm so glad that you said that because I'm a prior LN, and when we read a lot of the SA cases, a lot of times you'll see that there's a guy who is feeding a certain girl that he's like trying to get with. He'll start feeding her drinks. Oh, let me get your drink, and just keeping a cup in her hand, and then he's waiting for her to get drunk, and then he's like trying to play buddy. Let me take care of her. Let me help you. And then next thing you know, they wake up the next day and, you know, they found out that they feel as though like and you feel in your body, like your body is different after something like that. Just like, if you have, if you're with somebody and it's because when you with someone and something has happened to you, but you don't remember exactly what happened. And so now it's just like, well, now what story do I tell? And then it's the stigma of the whole thing. And then you feel like you don't have a voice, and a lot of them don't say anything. And so you have to be mindful of the environment that you're in. And it's sad because it's like, okay, these are shipmates. We these are people that we serve with. We're in a male dominant industry. So you can't avoid men per se, and not everybody is bad, and you want to look at them for the good, but there are some out there. You have to be mindful of the ones that are out there, and like you said, know your limit, know who to really trust, have like that girl buddy system, like who's gonna be like, no, we're not drinking anymore, or no, she looks drunk, let me, like, not, because a lot of times there's someone that's feeding them drinks. And that's how they end up in those situations. So I'm so glad that you said that about knowing your limits.
Hey, Jones, is your dad still alive?
Yeah, he is.
I wanted to ask that first because I had to ask a question about him. So that's the reason why I asked that. But he was a SEAL, right? A Navy SEAL. So how prepared were you to tell him about this? Because I could assume he probably would have wanted to.
My dad still doesn't know.
Oh. Is he gonna he's not tracking to listen to this?
I'm not
podcast,
telling him.
Okay.
I'm not telling him.
Some night
I guess because he's standing on business.
I'd rather save a body.
Yeah. He be standing
It'll
on
be
business.
night ops for real.
Night,
petty officer.
Hey, Monique, real quick. Hey, thanks for sharing that story.
Yeah.
Right, for one.
No problem.
And the second thing I want to say is continue to share that story. Right, like anytime you get a chance, to talk and to teach that, you can teach people. It's just like today when you talked about it, and we caught certain points, and Tish, talked about it. Hey, you can teach that, and you can help a lot of sailors in the future by telling that story.
Yeah.
So thank you for
I
sharing.
definitely will.
Yeah.
I will
that's one of those mama bear
because
that's one of those mama bear things, because it's a lot of junior sailors out there that, like you said, you came from a family. There's a lot of sailors that come in the Navy and they don't really come from family. They don't know how to operate, in the world. They don't know how to be vigilant. I'm pretty sure your dad taught you how to be quite vigilant, because you got a piece in your car. He probably taught you how to be very vigilant. And so a lot of sailors, junior sailors, I know when I came in, I was very green. I ain't know nothing about the real world. I'm just a little old girl from the suburbs, from a little country. I don't know nothing about nothing. And so it took people to teach me that. And so that's where that mama bear in you, that and they've already attached to you in that way. So yeah.
Now, hey, Valterra. Now, I got a question for you. I know you're probably thinking like, I ain't been through nothing too much. We're not that ain't where. But have you had anything in so far in your experience that might have changed who you are? Any trauma or anything you went through so far in your experience?
To a certain extent, not really in the Navy, but the reason I joined the Navy, I joined. The full truth is I joined in a panic almost. I get my own version of rock bottom. It's just getting into a lot of trouble. I need to share the whole nitty-gritty story, but I got hurt really bad, get in my head. And that was kind of that breaking point where I was like, I need to get out of this city. I need to switch it up. So it's interesting. Me and Monique all seem like a dichotomy, two different sides of the coin. But for me, it was really bad right before I joined, and then I joined to get away from everything, leave Seattle. So I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, it's been smooth sailing so far. I'm in for a new adventure at my next command for sure. But yeah, to put the full dichotomy on, I just put in my paperwork for real.
Well,
Nice.
There you go. You get
Yeah.
that big
when
money
you hear
now.
stories,
That big money.
when you hear stories like this from shipmates, because I'm sure, you know, and maybe not you personally, but I'm sure on, you know, a lot of E4 and Junior, E5 and Junior, a lot of stories are shared amongst each other that never makes
definitely.
it, you know, anywhere outside of, you know, y'all's peer groups. And like when you hear stories like this, like how do you feel?
It's disheartening. It does feel like we have a disconnect. Like when they said, whoever said they chose the mission over the sailors. And I see that a lot, and that is one of the things that's disheartening. I see that in my command all the time. They're like so focused on these submarines. They don't even do anything. They're stuck to the pier. They have a real reactor. They gotta, you know, do maintenance all the time. And I see it with the students. I see it with the staff member, the people who are qualifying me. You know, some of them. You know, I got some instructors who are staff, like, and I can tell, and it just seems like commands and the climate sometimes is just like we just gotta focus on this mission. Like we gotta get the reactor started up again. We gotta fix this valve, and when you're like, yeah, hey, officer over here, like, is obviously super depressed, and he's been like this for weeks. Like, is anyone gonna talk about that? No, we're just gonna focus on these valves, you know. So I do wish sometimes sailors should be the priority a little more in the Navy.
Yeah. Now this, like, to both of y'all, right? Because I just was bringing up like people keeping stories amongst their peer groups, right? Do y'all think? I gotta try to figure out the best way to put this. All right. Do y'all think that sometimes the downside of all this is the fact that it's kept amongst the peer groups, or the downside of this could be that people feel like if they do pass some of this information on, it's nothing going to happen to resolve it, or it's a mixture of both of those ideas?
I feel like it's a mixture of both, honestly, because, you know, I've been in that situation, you know, so I saw how the mixture happened, and I was just like, wow, that's kind of crazy. But it's the thing, like, I feel like even just with the peer group, you know, talking with the peer group, we're just talking with the person that you want to pass this information on to the higher ups. Like, I just feel like make that a priority. Like, when you don't make it a priority, that's when you have junior sailors looking at you like, wow, like, I'm really nothing to you but a number. That's what it becomes. And I felt at that time like I was a number. I feel like I was waiting in line and I was a number. And I feel like my peers, they took it more serious than the people that should have taken it more serious. And that could have been, hey, because I talk to my peers, or hey, because the higher ups hear this all the time and some people lie. But not everybody's lying. You have to understand that everyone is lying. I get that there's some men, some women, you know, in the military that do lie about things like this. And they feel like, oh, you're crying wolf. But when that actually person comes to you with actual facts and everything, that's not crying wolf. That's, hey, listen, open your ears and take charge of what's going on with this junior sailor.
Yeah, so, you know, it's a crazy thing. When I was a semio, one of the things that we were kind of taught was that we can't, and I'm not saying this is the case at all, right? In your case, one of the things that we were taught is we can't be reactive to the report, right? So if somebody came in and reported to me as a semio, right, and this might clear some stuff up for some young sailors, and I know semio is a lot different, that whole program, than when I was doing it. But it was like, hey, if somebody reported something to you, you can't sit there and say, yeah, I agree. All right. Yeah, like you were wronged. That's messed up. Like you can't even nod your head. Like as a semio, I couldn't even nod my head to show a sailor that I had sympathy or empathy for that situation. Like I had to just take the the information, because as a semio, this is different than Sapper, of course, right? As a semio, you got to take the information from the person that's making a report, and then you got to reach out to the alleged offender as well and get the alleged offender to sign this same piece of paper that the person that made the complainant made, and they're both kind of protected through this program until whatever has to happen happens, whatever resolution system that's picked by the complainant. But I used to see the frustration of like some sellers when they were like explaining things to me and they wanted me to be like, yeah, that's messed up, they did you wrong, and I'm sitting there like, yeah, yep. And they like looking at me like, yeah, it's messed up, like, chief, like they did this, and I'm like, yep. And and in my head, I got thoughts, but it's like you kind of, so sometimes when people get put in those positions, they might get that forwarding, but and other times it's actual situations where people just are not helpful, or people sweep things, under the rug. I was on Reddit. I saw a lot of sellers say like SA was swept under the rug by people they reported it to, and stuff like that. I got a question for y'all though. My question for y'all is for both of y'all, like, how do you all define a good leader?
Say like a good leader is someone who has balance. I've seen a lot of good leaders that just strive in that one aspect. So like they're just really good at being mission oriented, or they're just like really good at getting a task. But you need that, and you need someone who can be a human, who can connect with their junior sailors, who can do help with administrative stuff, who can help with life stuff, who can help with work stuff. If you have a leader who's just like your buddy a year to talk to, and then like you can't get the maintenance done, you're like, well, I mean, now work sucks, but at least those, you need a good leader, someone who can balance all the aspects of leadership and not just only strive in one direction. I think that's like the most important thing. I don't know.
That's a good one. Jones, what's up?
So I see it as there's different things. You have communication, which a leader should have. That's ability, to pass on the information that is needed. That is very important and pertinent to any situation at hand. A leader who has integrity, definitely being honest. That's a big thing, because some leaders are not. They pick and choose when they want to be honest. Empathy. I know sailors in the military but you got to have that empathy regardless. You got to dig down deep, because I know I'm not the biggest empathetic person, but I feel like some leaders, I'll just be like, you're really not empathetic at all. You just forgot about me. All right, well, whatever. And then decisiveness. You need to be able to make decisions. And granted, even though decisions might not be as correct or right, but make a decision, because that's what you're going to have to do being in the military. Decisions here and decisions there. So those are qualities I feel like as a leader and being definitely should have.
Yeah, and I'm going to extend that decision point, because you said correct or right, and I want to extend it to not everybody going to be pleased. Everybody not, like 45 people, right? That one decision you make is not going to make everybody happy, right? But you got to know at that moment in time that it was the right decision to make. Whether people go,
right.
I tell people all the time, I think I said on this podcast, like, if I leave it up to like my nephews, they would never want to eat vegetables or like healthy food. It's like ice cream, pizza, and wings every single day. So as the adults, it's like, hey, no, we gotta add some veggies to this meal. And people gonna be upset, like, oh man, but it's like this, at this point in time was the best decision to make. Now, what makes after this, I'm shutting up. You know what I mean? What makes a bad leader?
The same thing, just in reverse. Non-communication, not empathetic. You can't trust them, and they don't know how to make decisions. It's legit the same, just in reverse. All honestly, like, that's how I see it.
empathy is like the biggest one that like I've had experience with. Like, I've definitely seen a lot of leaders, and I'm like, especially for nukes, right? You go out to sea 4 years, and then you come back for your short tour as a staff member. It's almost always how it is in teach. And I'm like, dude, you were in my shoe like 4 years ago. Like in the grand scheme of things, it's not that long. You know, just something stupid, like, oh, he's trying to get qualified or some shit. I'm like, you know, just freaking shit on you for no reason. Like, you know, it's everything, all those aspects are super important. Just out of my experience, you gotta have some empathy for these junior guys. So you were there at one point. There's no excuse. But definitely something I feel like a lot of leaders in the Navy could work on. Oh, how do you get that? How do you get that third chevron? All of a sudden, it's just like, fuck all these G sailors. Like, oh man, it's something about the third chevron. All of a sudden, they get freaking
I don't
memory
know why
calls.
y'all say that.
I'm
I don't know
like,
why. I don't know why that's a thing. Yeah, it's like I don't know why that's so perpetuated. Like, I felt like every time I climbed up in the ring, it was more of a way. And I know Damon probably felt the same, but it's like now I got more ammo to take care of myself. It's like I never looked at it like it's in the reverse now. Like maybe somebody that I worked with thought that, like, oh shit, he made first, he became an asshole. But I never ever like took it like this, like, oh shit, I'm gonna be a first, I could get in these rooms. I'm gonna be a chief, I could get in these rooms. I'm about to be a senior chief. I don't know. What's about you, Damon?
Yeah, man, you know, yeah, no, none of that stuff, man. But I do want to, like, I kind of want to add this some stuff about the leadership piece, man. Is that Monique? You can name 7 things. Valterra, you can name 7 things. But at the end of the day, it gotta be somebody you want to follow, right? You have to they have to do things for you when they working or however they work that you want to follow. So those things right there that you just said, that's all those things is part of leadership. Right? Communication. If you ain't got no communication, you're done. It's a wrap because you got to be trusted, and to be trusted, you got to communicate. You got to do these things, right? But I tell you this, man, and I get up in front of people and I'm talking to them or whatever the case may be. A couple things that I look at first off, any sailor talking is you knowledgeable in your job first, right? Because if you ain't knowledgeable, you ain't gonna teach me nothing. You're done. You know what I mean? If you can't teach me nothing, like it's almost like, hey, I tell you what, I take that back a little bit. If you can't teach me nothing and you're in charge of me, I need to be able to tell that you're working hard at getting your knowledge up. And I'm saying that because you get people that change rates all the time too, though. You know what I mean? People cross rating to different rates and stuff, and they may be a first class and they're in a different rate now, and all of a sudden they're not as knowledgeable. Maybe that's the second class, but hey, you might not be as knowledgeable. It's still things you can do to be a leader, though, right? But then also you need to get that knowledge up too, because people when I see you as a first class. I feel like I should be able to lean on you when it comes to your rate, right? If I need to. So knowledge is key. Knowledge is power. And then, hey, don't be shooting from the hip. Don't be throwing some on the wall and do it stick. Right? Come with some facts. Know what you're talking about, because once you lose that trust from sailors, right, it's a wrap again for you. It's over as a leader. Once they catch you in a lie, they catch you doing something you don't supposed to be doing. Now you can't be trusted. It's a wrap for you as a leader, right? So in the big scheme of things, you guys are saying things, hey, we've been talking about for years and years. You may say it a different way. You may say it like that. But at the end of the day, you have to have somebody in your chain of command that you want to follow, that you want to look at and be like, hey, that's who I want to be. You know, if that's not who you got, it's tough out there. Because if I feel like I can do the job building you, it's tough.
I know, it's hard when you do.
It's tough.
Oh yeah, no. If you could feel like you could do the job, yeah. Hey Jones, I got a question for you. Got a brand new chief, first day, right? What's the entering grade you giving that brand new chief? From an A. I don't want to do grades though.
Like 1 through 5.
They grading on a curve. Yeah, you grading them on a curve. Yeah, okay, let's do grades. So A through F, grading chief on the curve. All they did was walk in the door. Where you got them graded at?
They started at F.
Damn.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
That ain't even
Hey.
what
I need them to
Listen.
understand. If I've been there and I've seen it happen in line commands, and that's not just with chiefs, that's with chiefs, demos, whatever. You started at F. I need to know that once you come in, you're going to take that charge. I don't want you to come in and I get, you may have questions here or there, but I don't want you to come in and you've been there for, say, a month now, and you're just there. You're still an S. Like, you have to grade up like everyone else. If I gave you a test, I would want you to pass within the month of being there. That means pay attention, understand what you need to do. You have a job just like everyone else. So I don't know you. I would like to get to know you. But during that time being, you need to also know your job. You need to know the sailors that you will be taking care of and go from there. And maybe your grade will magically rise up. But until then, you're at an F. And
All
the
right,
thing
so-
is, I have a mouth. So I tell my chiefs that.
So I got another
Wow.
question. I got one. You brand new
Yes.
to a division.
Okay.
You brand new to the division. Where you want Chief to start you at?
I would rather start at the bottom.
So you want to start
okay.
at
Yeah.
F
But the
too.
thing is, I come in with such a strong demeanor, and I'm ready to like go at it. So I have asked this question to my command, and we stopped at a D, and I never got rated under a B.
So you walk in first day, right? You walk in my office first day, right? I'm your senior chief. You come in my office. I'm like, hey, Jones, I'm going to tell you right now. I wouldn't do this. It's not how I operate, right? But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm starting you at an F. And you need to prove
fine.
yourself to me to make it up to an A. You okay with me saying that to you?
Yes,
Okay. That's
Valterra.
fair.
I'm perfectly fine.
Valterra, same question. How would you feel if you went into your chief's office and you got the welcome aboard F?
If you started at A, you can only go down. That's the issue. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, there's no way to succeed with that. I don't know though. Just a chief, like, don't know anything about him. Like, I don't know if I'm just gonna assume. Like, I don't know. It's a weird question. I've never heard this question before.
She like, you ain't shit.
Yeah.
Well,
Get
I mean,
your
it's
ass
a.
in
I
here
want to
and sit
start
down.
at A. Also,
Where would
Yeah.
you start? Like, it's crazy because I was thinking Jones was gonna say, I start him at like a C or something
Right
like
in
that.
the middle. And she said, nah.
So you go up and down like that. Because if he started at F and or he or she started F and they do make one mistake, like where do they go after
She's
that?
sending your
Like,
ass to
Is
hell.
there an F?
She's sending you to hell.
Well, so Valterra, I'm assuming yours is more like a even kind of slate, like
yeah.
gotta.
Little benefit of the doubt type shit. You know, he a chief. He or she is a chief, so they probably been around the block a
Something,
little
right?
bit.
Like, you
They
know,
may know
right.
something,
Pass at least one
No.
test,
maybe like
Right.
something.
Yeah.
But a lot of leadership. Some people's leadership style, they prefer to come in, watch, learn. They're not trying to come in and immediately start changing things. They're just observing first, because if it ain't broke, then don't damn fix it. But the things that are broken that we could do better in, like, that's what they're kind of looking at. So when they're in the observation phase, are you putting them as a they ain't doing shit, they ain't getting their work done, so they had to have? Damn.
They had to have regardless. They had to have.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, even
But,
like,
but look,
yeah.
look, I'm with you though. Hey, Monique, I'm with you on this. I'm with you with the earn respect thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? You got the earn your worth, right? Type shit. Right. But also
That's
I think
correct.
the benefit of the doubt need to be there also. Like really, like, yeah, you got to earn it, like, hey man, Chief, you been here about 2 months.
It's there,
That
but
shit.
it's in the back.
Hey,
You know
Monique,
what I mean? But
I'm gonna tell you this now. This gonna be a clip, right? Because
yeah,
it's going. Some people gonna be on here.
viral.
I like to protect our guests, and like I don't want them to be on your ass. But some people. Are you okay with this being a clip? and people being on your
I feel
ass.
like she can hold her own.
I'm ready.
I like it.
I
Okay.
feel
It's
like
definitely gonna be a clip.
I feel like she can hold her
It's
own.
definitely gonna be a clip. So what else?
I'm definitely ready.
What type of questions y'all got for us? Y'all got anything for us? What's up?
Okay. So, how are you guys? Because I don't know everyone's rate. I think you just said you made senior chief.
I'm a you talking to me, right?
Yes.
I just became a command senior chief. Yeah. So
Congrats.
thank you. Yeah. I was an electrician's mate before that. That's what I think.
It's a great rate. Electrician's a good rate. Electrician's a good rate.
And I'm a retired Ellen.
Yay! I love Ellens. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Sure you too, riding around with them guns.
I know, right? I know who to call.
Look at it. Look at it.
I know who to call.
But what's your question though?
But I know we was talking about earlier about how, as far as like junior sailors, when you guys meet them, and do you guys talk BS? The chief messed about us.
Slow question.
You laughing out there, man.
Yeah, because they think that happens. That's why he's laughing. He's
Hey,
yeah, maybe I
Hey,
think that happens.
hey, Monique. Let me tell
Maybe
you.
that's not what it
Monique,
is.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
What do we think about
I
that?
got so much other shit to think about than to come into the chief mess and be talking about you guys, man. I don't now. If it's something that happened in the
Right.
command and your name it came up, I might be in there like shit, man, crazy. But I don't just come in there and talk about junior sailors, man. It's just not what we do. We got a lot of shit to talk about. No, and we be on some crazy. We end up watching. I ain't gonna say what we doing it up, but we doing some other shit in there.
Yeah.
Hey,
we
but
not
you gotta, David, you gotta say a little bit more than that because you said we be in there watching, and then I ain't gonna say what we doing there. You gotta
Right,
say we ain't watching nothing.
I was about to say, doing lunchtime, watching TV and shit, bullshit.
Yeah.
But we most definitely, well, I tell you what, from the messes I've been in, which has been a lot. I've been a chief for like 12 years now, being a chief mess. So, I will say this, man. We're not in there talking about junior sailors. If we are in there talking about junior sailors, we're most of the time talking about how we finna bring them up, how we gonna train them, how we gonna get to the next stuff like that. We most of the time talking about it, chief. And that's the ones I've been in now.
I have been in a room with other and this was actually when I first became a chief, where I felt like it was a little bit like a bashing or kind of reconstructing the story. And I was like, damn, that's fucked up. But I said something, I said something about it. I was like, corrected the person, like, no, that's not what this person said. She said this, but I would say, like, from my perspective, and me and Damien kind of we were in the same chief's mess at my last command. But no, we really do be cared about y'all asses for real. We will sit at lunch and kind of brainstorm how we can help a sailor. Going to another chief like, hey, my sailor got this problem. Can you help them with this or whatever? Talking about quarter boards and all that shit and programs. Like, we really be like eating lunch, talking about work stuff a lot of times, but it's not really on like some talking shit type stuff. We like Damien said, we got so much other stuff to do. Now, when y'all frustrate the hell out of us, do I let off a little bit of steam? Like, it's coming like again on cancel this thing and they still doing it? Absolutely. And it might be on some, hey, I've tried this, I've tried that. What else? That's like going to the toolbox. Like, hey, I don't try these things with sailor. Like, they just not getting it. Like, any suggestions or can you go talk to them? Like, what else can I do? But it's like when you say talking shit, it's not on no like this sailor. Like, if a sailor comes to me about something personal, I'm not going to run your business up in the cheese mess. Like, that's not how it is.
Yeah, so Tish was talking about getting mentorship, right, from like more senior chiefs and like senior chiefs and stuff like that, like help with issues, because that's what the chiefs mess is about, like helping each other, right? Now, I'll tell y'all this, right? So me and Damon been in the same mess, and we ain't never really have to deal with that. Like, people talk about sellers and stuff inside the mess, but I'll say this though, from what I do know, is that a lot of chiefs look at chiefs like they weak if they come in the mess and talk shit about their sellers. Like a chief might get cussed out, like in the mess. Like you in here talk about your seller, what the fuck you doing to help your seller? What you know? A chief is liable to get chewed out really bad if they just constantly talking shit about the same seller and they not doing nothing to help that seller or nothing like that. Because this is a hard question to answer because of course we're gonna say like it don't happen, and I know that it's probably places that I've talked to chiefs who said that it happened in the messes that they were in, but I've never been a part of that, experience, because I know I might be some junior, sellers listening. But I'm telling y'all now, in most messes, if somebody, most messes that I'm familiar with, if somebody in there and they want to bash a seller, they about to get their head chopped off by some strong chiefs and strong senior chiefs, because a lot of times what y'all might not see is like, even though like chiefs is like their own division, a lot of like chiefs and senior chiefs, they really be caring about like a whole lot of the sellers on the ship, even the ones outside of their division that don't, see that some of that stuff ain't fake, y'all, and some of it's not forced, right? Because that's kind of the blockage I deal with sometimes. I'll be like, yo, I wonder if these people think that I'm forcing something or I'm faking something, and it's not genuine. Right. A lot of times it's genuine, you know what I mean? So somebody, I'm gonna repeat it one more time. Somebody, and I know probably some chiefs listening right now, like, yeah, Donald telling the truth. You liable to get chopped down for talking shit about your seller inside the mess in front of some strong fucking chiefs. I know Damon probably can attest to that too.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Because for real, like when your sailor, quote unquote, fails, it really falls on you. Like that chief is going to talk to the CMC with a tail tucked, because the first thing the CMC is going to ask is, what did you do? Why didn't you prevent this? So we get a lot of flack for, our lack of, performance as well. And so, we only really trying to help y'all. It's for your growth. We've been there before. Like we know how it is to be on the outside and you see chiefs go in the office and they shut the door and you like, oh, they in there gossiping. Probably not.
Hey,
probably if you were to listen or open that door, they might be talking about their kids or something, something outside the Navy, like a way just to kind of like shut the door and kind of relieve stress from the day. And just talk about family type stuff, because we do go to each other. We are like a, cohesive brother sisterhood, so we'll talk to each other about
it'd be fun, like talking shit about each other. Yeah, we talking shit about each other, like cracking jokes. Same like y'all.
Jokes,
like, y'all don't sit around and talk about chiefs all the time. Like we sit like joking on each other. I hope y'all don't. I'm sure y'all don't. Y'all better not.
She's like, they in there like, I can't stand it.
Yeah. I did on top of all that though, Monique, is like, hey, we very protective about our rates too though. Like if I go in the mess and I said, hey, PS3 Jones did this, PSC ears probably gonna perk up. You know what I mean? Like we're protected by our sailors. I'm here to tell you right now, like, hey, for real. You say a DC, I'm a DC man, so you say DC in there, my ears like, what they say?
Yeah.
Right.
When COVID was jumping off, I ain't want nobody telling my sellers to put they COVID mask on. And not because I ain't want the chiefs to correct them, but I ain't never want my people to be like out of rags. You know what I mean? I'm like, when y'all walk through these people, I don't want no other chiefs correcting no electricians. They even probably know like their uniforms, everything. Like, yo, I don't want nobody correcting y'all. Like when y'all leave quarters, let's look real good. Cause I deal with that a lot. I see sellers. I'm like, damn, I gotta correct this seller who just left quarters. It's like, did they chief not like make sure like everything was good to go and stuff? Like, question: do y'all still look at PODs and POWs? I know PSs.
Hold on. Hey, from the nuke standpoint, they got a whole different shit, man. He probably don't know what you're talking about right now.
I don't even know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. I know nukes is a whole different world.
What do y'all do out there?
Like even.
So POD would be the plan of the day, like the schedule of like all the day's events, and the POW would be like a plan of the week, a schedule of all the weeks. And like normally, like on the bottom or something, it would say like all sellers are supposed to read it or have a copy of it. It'll have like all your like your sapper reps, your command, your semio reps, like that'd be on like the front of it, and then you might have what's going on throughout the day. Then in the back, it might be like notes from the skipper, notes from the cob, different like stuff like that. POD, I was just explaining what a POD was.
I know what a POD. Oh, you know what? I know what a damn POD is.
Yeah. Damn, Tish almost didn't know.
Yeah, well,
I know what a POD is.
It's okay, Tish. It's okay. It's all right.
What the nukes do that's different.
No, I was explaining that to Valterra.
Oh, I thought you were calm down.
But it might be a little different because I'm still technically a student. So maybe the staff members have their own version of that. As far as right now, like I got quarters, I muster there, and then like my little division of ELTs are just like this is what we got going on today. Here's where you need to be steady. So
do you write it down when they put it out?
I'm gonna keep it real with you. It's just like most of it's like do your quarters, they talk about big stuff. Like all right, we're doing this heavy maintenance today. Yada yada. Good. Kind of falling asleep. I'm keep it real with you guys. And then they're like, all right, break. And now you go to my little division of like 6 ELT staff members, and there's like 5 students, and they're like, all right, Valterra, go on the boat, like come to the boat right now. We're gonna do some qualifications, and then after that, like you're gonna go study. You know.
Hey, so this what happened, y'all. Tell me what y'all would have thought about this if y'all were in the division, right? It was like my first week on board, right, on the ship. Probably my first day at quarters. My first class was putting out a bunch of stuff, dates on such and such day. It's gonna be the such and such thing. On this day, we gonna have this. The command holiday parties on this day. And I noticed that none of my sailors was writing none of this shit down, right? So and I zoned in on one of the sailors that was like just zoned out, like just what they call it, skylarking. What is it called? Like I don't know, but just skylarking, right? So like after quarters was like after like the first class put something out, I looked right at that son. I said, "You." Like I don't know what, like you know. Of course I ain't say you. That'd be crazy. But I said, "Hey, when is the holiday party?" And they was like, I'm like, God, like I'm like, you know, I tell them like, "Hey, we need to write this stuff down." And people looked pissed. They're like, "Oh man, he wants us to write stuff down. Like, who is this guy?" You know what I'm saying?
Just got on board.
He want
He's an F. He's an F.
Like, I'm gonna go deeper. Where I'm at now, and I went to a brief. There's a bunch of people that's not my rate, right? MAs, Jones, and they were briefing like, yeah. Now I'm the SCL, so I'm in there with even higher ranking people, and they kept saying like all of these acronyms, like, yeah, we don't. It was like, hey, we got the ISG2 for the CIP for the WTDF, and that's happening on 12 whatever for OMTF 7. And I'm like, hey, everybody, can y'all now mind you, it's probably a meeting that like I really don't even need to be at, but I have to be there because it's like one of them things that they like, hey, yeah, you gotta be SCL, gotta be here. So I'm like, hey, since I'm here, like I want to get value out of it. I don't want to get lost in these acronyms. So can y'all please explain to me what's going on? A couple people got, they start explaining shit that I already knew. You know, that's how they got to get. Well, POD stands for Planet of the Day. No, that's not what I was talking about. Like I'm talking about this shit I don't understand. You know what I mean? But like so if y'all like encountered that by like y'all's like chief or something on the first day, what would y'all be thinking? Like, man, I don't know how this about to be, or would y'all be like, oh no, this dude's on point, like he kind of want to know, what's going on and want us to write stuff down and actually know what we got going on. How would you receive it, Joan?
You're an ass. Because why do you want me to write this stuff down? Like, I understand and I hear it, and I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna they're gonna post it constantly somewhere on a shit.
And that's what it is. So, y'all be thinking that it's gonna be somewhere else. So it's like, hey, Chief put this shit out, but it's gonna be so that happened, right? Else. I don't know how long you've been listening to the pod, but that happened when we went to the yards. Like one of my people, we didn't got to the yards now, Jones, right? And so the whole triad then put out everything about parking lots, and they put it out over the 1MC every week. They sent emails out. They put this whole screen up on the quarterdeck. The Chiefs put it out, right? And so we get to the we actually now at the yards, and one of our soldiers was like, "Hey, what parking lot we park in?" And I said, for real? I said, you don't know? You're like, nah, nobody ever said nothing about it. I'm like, all
That's
right.
the first thing they said.
I
Nobody
said,
ain't
first
said
class
nothing.
said, I said, the first class said, well, I know my division was probably looking. Some of it was because they knew me by then. I was like, first class is on my quarters. You must have missed that. It got put out over the 1MC like every single day. You must have missed that. The all hands email, you must have missed that. The screen on the quarter deck, you must have missed that. The trifos that they giving out on the ship, you must have missed that. And I'm like, at some point, y'all can't keep blaming, because communication will always take a hit. Like every survey is like, oh, the communication sucks. I'm like, you done got this from 7 different areas, and you still don't damn know. You wanted to wait till the day to ask senior chief, and senior just to be like, yeah, parking lot 57. You know what I'm saying? So, but and I know that's what because I've done that before. Like, man, I'm not about to write this down. They're gonna put this out somewhere else, man. I'm gonna get this from somebody else. You know what I mean? But that'd be the thing. What else? What other questions y'all got for us?
Well, yeah, I got a good
Valterra,
one.
you got a question?
So, there's a lot of sad nukes out there. Maybe y'all have experienced that or seen that. Maybe you, Demon. How do you help motivate someone who's just like down? Like, cause I got plenty of shitmates who are just like right in that zone of just like, this all sucks. Everything sucks. This is all, and you show the team, like, we gotta get a job done. We gotta get qualified. We gotta do this together. I'm not trying to leave anyone behind. And your guys' time in the Navy, like, how have you been able to motivate someone who's, at a time feels unmotivated? Someone who's just on the side thing.
Good question, man.
And you're talking peer to peer, right?
I see it both ways. I see it peer to peer. I also see it sometimes junior to senior, which that's obviously even more difficult, I guess. That was really tough. Because it's like, what's this little E4 gonna do to motivate this E6? So he's gonna fuck about me. But I want to, like, I'm like, hey, players fast, come on, like, we got this. Really.
That's even more difficult right there. That's even more difficult. That's rough. No doubt about that.
But hey, so senior to junior, Damon, like, what would you do? How do you do?
First off, man, like if I'm in any type of situation like that, no shit. My first thing I'm probably gonna try is probably what you're doing right now is by example. Like, I'm always gonna be trying to be that positive force first. Positive, trying to do stuff, trying to get it done, trying to be positive. Hey, we can do this and stuff like that. Now, if it starts being a thing, man, I'm not an expert on that stuff, and I don't try to be. Right. So my first thing I'm gonna try to do is maybe get somebody that is maybe could help them. Right. Because the only thing I can do is like lead by example and things like that. I don't know what they got going through in their life. I don't know if they're depressed. I don't know if they're stressed. I don't know any of that stuff. And I don't want to, like, I can help you. We can go to the pool hall. We can go golfing. We can do all these things I can help with. But when it comes to medical or things like that, I try to get the right people to help them out. Right. That's the only thing I really can do. And sometimes that's what it takes, man. Sometimes it takes them getting in the room with somebody and talking about something. You know what I mean? That could be holding them back from trying to get to that level that we want them to be at.
Yeah. Yeah, just like Valterra, what you were talking about with the program that you guys have, and the one that you said has been the most your favorite or the most effective. Just kind of talking to someone and just taking concern in what their problem is and just hearing them out, because sometimes they just need to vent. Now, some people, they just want to have like their woe is me party, and they don't really want to focus on the solution. They just want to focus on the problem. And that can be a little bit tougher because they have to want to come out of that. But if they can't identify what their problem is, then that's a person who just wants to be negative, and until they're ready to actually like figure out what the problem is and like have an interest in fixing it, then there's really not a whole lot that you can do, because you can actually bring yourself down, trying to help them and trying to play Mr. Fix It, So like Damon said, just getting them to the right people and kind of helping them to talk through the problem. Like, so what is it that's wrong? Like, well, what's your plan to fix it? Like, that's one of my biggest questions. Like, what's your plan to fix it? Like, how are you going about it? Well, maybe you should try this. Have you considered going to do this or that? But if it's a person that just kind of wants to blame everything on everybody else, then they got to get out of their own way. And that's something that they have something that's blocking them from being able to, take that accountability of their life so they can take that next step. But that's something that they need professional help for. That don't try to fix people. Be a friend, but don't try to carry their weight. Don't try to carry their weight. Let them carry their own.
Yeah, I'll say this, like Damon is the most motivated and motivating person that I've met probably in my life, right? And that's real talk, right? But like me, I gotta be me, right? So it's normally a conversation. It's normally I'm having some kind of conversation with you. We talking now, and I'm generally like pretty optimistic. So now when you talk to me, you probably gonna get an optimistic conversation, especially if it's Navy related, if it got to do with work, and that's because I've been in now, not the longest, but I've been in long enough to know like this too shall pass when it comes to like stressful shit.
Mm-hmm.
So like when people, even Chiefs now, when Chiefs like, like this going on, man, I'm about to get an LOI. Like I got an LOI before, man. Like hey, this is gonna happen. You're gonna be all right. You're gonna make it out of this. When my sellers, they go through like, DRB. And now for me, my job, like for my sellers, my job is to kind of take care of my sellers. So when my sellers like, man, I'm going through this scene here, I got this going on, and it's like, I'm with you. Like, and I think just saying that sometimes is like the most motivating, kind of thing. Like one of my sellers got in trouble, like in the yards. I'm like, I'm with you, man. I'm gonna be there the whole time. I'm gonna be with you the whole time. Like I'm with you right now in the day. I'm gonna be with you through DRB. When I leave here, I'm gonna go support you and say good words about you there. I'm gonna write good stuff about you on paper. I'm gonna tell the cat, I'm with you the whole time, man. You know what I mean? In that regard. Now, like when we get to where, like Damon's saying, it's a different kind of problem. I've exerted all my conversation. I've exerted all my input, and it's starting to lean more into we need to get with a professional because it's impeding on your ability to work and stuff like that. And I mean, that's where you need to go. If it's starting to be like, I can't even get work done. I'm stressed out. At home, I can't have had those conversations because a lot of times, we get the higher level master chiefs and stuff. They push out for us to have conversations and do this stuff with our sellers. And I'm not talking about that part. Like we didn't have that, we didn't expend all that's been expended. Like now we on a part where that seller is done with us and they need to go see somebody else. Right. And if EOS or whatever other stress control programs then been exerted, it's time for us to go, and talk to somebody that's going to help you out.
Yeah.
What else? What other questions y'all got? Were they acceptable answers?
The weird one is like the junior to senior. And maybe that's just my own little world. Just like the way as I said, the way it works for us is like at the end of the schooling, you get a chance to re-sign for 2 years for a lot of money, which I was choosing to do. And you go out to sea, and then that re-sign for 2 years is automatic short for it. So you come back and you're a teacher, no matter what. Even if you're the worst person on your boat, it doesn't matter. You're going to come back and be in that authoritative figure, authoritative position. You're going to be teaching these people. So it's like really strange where like I have a bunch of people who are like senior to me, first class, some second class, that are like burnt, like just burnt, like real like not Booyah Navy. I don't know what to like really do, and it's like weird situation.
Yeah, so I'm gonna tell you, right? Yeah, I'm kind of hyped to answer this question because one of my junior sellers asked me this before, and I didn't have an answer. So I'm kind of amped up to answer this right now. So I'm gonna go first, y'all. Sorry, but I was giving EOS training one day, and we were talking about peer to peer and all that. And one of my sellers was like, "Well, senior, like, who motivates you when you need it, right?" And 2 years later from that, like, she's one of the sellers that motivates me. You know what I mean? But I'm a different type of seller too, so that kind of comes into play, Valterra. But I'm like, example right now, talking to you today has motivated me, right? I mean, I'm looking at the flags in the background of where you are. You know what I mean? Like on the side of like the Navy and like the potential that we have and stuff like that. Just having this conversation with you motivates me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm being straight. And then when I go, so Jones, like on my screen, so I'm gonna say when I go down to Jones, it's because on my screen, you the lowest person that I see on the screen, right? When I go down to Jones and like Jones's story, like I would love to work with a Jones, right? Because some of the qualities you got, Jones, I feel like if we tap into them, like some of those, like you're a little tough, right? So some of that toughness, like, man, like if I got you working with me, you about to be, you're gonna be I don't want to say you're gonna be my hound. Like, yo, Jones, like we need to get this done from these people, and I know you're gonna do it, but I also know that, like, I could trust that you're gonna be honest too. You know what I mean? So that type of stuff would motivate me as a leader. Like, hey, I got Jones depending on me to make sure that we taking care of our people, but like we're holding our people accountable. I believe you could do that, Jones. I believe if I tell you, like, hey, we need to get this done, but we also don't need the bullshit or cut no corners, and they need to do this right. I believe I can arm you with that information. You could get it done, hold them accountable, and hold me accountable. So that motivates me. And then when I got Valterra, like just the growth potential of like how you see the military and just your positive outlook, I believe, I believe you care about the work you do. I believe you're going to do it right. And I don't think you don't seem like a rework kind of guy. So that's going to motivate me. I feel like I can't come to you with no bullshit. Like, hey, I ain't about to go to Valterra, with no stupid shit. Cause I feel like he going to see, like, so I owe you that. Right. So I feel like as a leader, it's things that we owe y'all. So that's like, y'all motivate us. Like, just for simple fact, y'all chose to be on the podcast. Like, like I'm like, these ain't horrible sailors. Like, these people want to do good and know good, and they choosing to listen to some military podcasts every week, or watch clips or do something. Like, that's pretty, that's pretty cool and impressive. So that's kind of my soapbox about that part.
Yeah, and what I'll say, my 2 cents on it is, remember that your chiefs are people too. We're not robots, and so we carry a lot of weight, more weight than you would know. And then on top of that, we have our own stuff going on at home. Just like y'all miss y'all family, we miss our families too when we're away. And so it's okay to go up to your chief or whoever and say, hey, are you okay? I've noticed that, you haven't really been yourself. Is there anything that I can help you with? Because maybe it's work related. Maybe it's just a lot going on, and then he's trying to do this and trying to do that. Like, maybe he'll empower. That's a way that he or she will empower you to maybe like, hey, I got this task on. Can you help me with this? Maybe. So yeah, we're not robots. We're humans. And a lot of times as chiefs, like, you get pats on the back when you're going up until you make chief. And then it's like, you don't really get a pat on the back for there is no chief of the quarter. There's no chief of the year. Like, all that shit stops. And a lot of times you get more negative feedback in, like, this got to be done, that's not done, sailors grabbing, complaining or whatever. And it just feels like, man, it's just one thing after another. So you don't really get very many pats on the back. And so having your sailor, yeah. You don't get none. And sometimes you go home and you don't get shit there either.
You don't get none. So the only people that we would get it from is y'all. Only people that we would get them signs, and sorry to cut Tish, but only people that we would get signs of appreciation from is y'all.
Y'all progressing, and y'all getting promoted.
A chief with a #1 EP, that debrief from the CO, it ain't gonna sound like if you a junior seller with a #1 EP, a chief with a #1 EP, it's like, here you go, here go your eval, chief. You know what I mean? Boom, boom, boom. I never walked out, and I got some #1 EPs since I've been a chief. I never walked out like feeling like I was on top of the world. Like, it's like, I got more work to do. I was saying, I'm gonna lose this one. You know what I mean? So y'all gotta know. I want, like, whoever listen, any junior seller like listening right now, to know that, like, if you feel like your chief is doing a good job, like, and you do appreciate it, like, it might be okay every now and then to, like, let them know.
Yeah.
Let them know him or her. Sorry.
Right. No, yeah. Yeah, hey, look, you close that out good. Damo, Damon, on you. I ain't got nothing else to say. That's it.
No, I don't have a whole lot to add, but I will say this, Valterra, I was taught a long time ago, a closed mouth don't get fed. Don't sit in the corner and watch it, man. If you want to say something, you think you should say something, say something. You know what I mean? If it's getting to that point, just be respectful and all that type of stuff, which you already know. But it's okay to say something. You know?
And you would be surprised how many senior leaders take their own lives due to stress, you know? And so who knows that are you okay? Is there something I can help you with? You don't know what's on that chiefs or you know, Devo. You don't know what's on their mind at that time. And your are you okay could be the are you okay that saves their life.
Yeah,
You know, no matter how junior you are, you know.
It happened to me. After we got the miscarriage and I had to get flown back out to the ship during COVID, and I was already on extension, and I was walking around giving people my ass to kiss. Like, I don't know how else to say it. Like, I got flown back to the ship. I had to stand watch the same day. I just got finished quarantining. Like, we just lost our baby. Like, all of that shit. And I was already extended. It took my GSC-1 on watch. I was on watch. It was like my second watch. And he was like, yo, you not the same, Chief. He was like, you normally the one that's in here motivating us, making us laugh. I ain't say nothing in that moment, but that shit burned in me, man. And I took it, and I got on the up and up, and I left the ship in high spirits, even though me and my wife had a lot going on, but we just lost a baby and stuff like that. But it took, if he wouldn't have said that, I would have been horrible, like throughout the rest of the deployment. You know what I mean? I'm standing watch, EOW, like a valuable watch down there for our surface guys, our surface engineers. But I know what's up, man?
Hey, and on top of that, hey, it may possibly could be negative too. You could say something too, and they be like, "I worry about yourself, don't worry about me." But guess what? At the end of the day, you know you said something.
Yeah.
Right. That's how you got to feel about it. Don't take it as a bad thing. And in the back of their mind, they may have said something crazy to you. But in the back of their mind, they might be thinking, "Man, something has changed in me. Maybe it's something I need to do." You know. So don't be scared of it. Like they might say something crazy, but it's okay. You know, you spoke up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I know we're gonna wrap soon because it is getting late. What other, y'all got any more questions?
I do.
What you got, Joe? What you got?
What made you? I'm guessing that you started this podcast.
Me?
Yeah, Damo.
Me and Damon. So
Both of you.
yeah. You wanna know
why
why?
you started?
A lot of reasons. Damon probably give you his version of why, but we were having a conversation in the Chiefs mess about like a disconnect between the sellers and Chiefs and stuff like that. Well, this is kind of what rooted it for me. And a lot of the Chiefs was like, no, it's no disconnect. We good. Like, it's no disconnect. And I'm like, it is though. Like it is. Like it's it was a perception of like they couldn't talk to us about stuff. And the Chiefs like, but they could talk to us. I'm like, yeah, but they're not because it's a perception that they can't. And they like, no, but they can. I'm like, yeah, but they not. So that's kind of what it was, and that coupled with like me and Damon. So that like eventually, because we were supposed to have this conversation with a bunch of Chiefs that had to do with like separate stuff. Well, with all of the sellers and us, and it's had to do with separate stuff. And it like, we kind of didn't do it, right? And I'm like, damn, like nobody like kind of knows like that we just like in ways, right? So then outside of whatever happened on the ship, that feud with like me just thinking like, damn, like do our and me and Damon would talk to like junior sellers and like, I'd be like, yo, do y'all think like we were like born as fucking Chiefs and shit? And they like, yeah, like, they would say that like, yeah, y'all like always been Chiefs. Y'all never been like us and shit like that, right? So I'm like, oh man, like we need to just have a podcast where we talk about like our like normal lives, our upbringings as sellers, like the shit we did. If you go all the way back to the podcast, you can hear stories about us as E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, whatever. So people can know we've been through all that same shit, because that's how we really connect. We really connect through those intimate conversations, talking to each other and establishing that baseline that we are real people. So what me and Damon was going to do at first was just have a couple different conversations about leadership, like 7 episodes about 7 elements of leadership. But when we saw how it was connecting like on a personal level, we just decided to keep it going. So that's kind of why. And then I went to school for cinematography and like it's other reasons too outside of, like that part as well. But a lot of it had to do with I wanted like a really good way to connect with sellers. And with that said, right, I got to say this, right, because we be getting a lot of emails and DMs, right? with that said, like I always wanted to get like emails and DMs from sellers who need help. Now they coming in. Like somebody just hit me up like, yo, if I get a probationary on the PFA, like, and I'm like driving, I'm like, yo, if I don't answer this, they gonna be like, yo, fuck, I'm losing that podcast. They don't care nothing about us. So now I'm like, yo, it's a lot of messages coming in now. It's like almost overwhelming. You know what I mean? Like, but I mean, we couldn't ask for anything more. We need a bigger team, though. Definitely. What you got, Damon? I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, I think where it came from me and Damo used to watch together, right? And then Stan EL and we used to be down there, and Say used to come talk to us all the time, right? And we'll wind up, we got 4 hours, 6 hours watching. All of a sudden, the watch over with. We talking to junior sailors. They come in there like we talking about uniform stuff. We just talking about real shit. Mm-hmm. And then one day, man, Damo just brought it up, and we should put this stuff on the podcast. And I was like, shit. I can talk all day, man. Let's go. You know what I mean? So,
let's go.
Yeah, let's go. So, I mean, but the experience that we got from starting the podcast, man, is like crazy though. Like people reaching out, people talking to us, and the effect that is happening to people. Like no shit, man. People seeing me, we having a genuine conversation. I was on a ship one day. This guy, they want to take a picture with me. Little old Damon from Mississippi. Somebody want to take a picture with me, man. I was like, what in the hell is going on right here? Then I'm a damage control man, and they know our whole story, right? They know that, like, okay, like previous. So I made Master Chief, right? But I just put it on now, right? So people know my story already, right? They say, you still haven't put, I go on the ship, and you put on Master Chief yet? Like, they know, you know what I mean? I haven't put it on yet. They like know my story and shit, man. So it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I love it though.
Anything else?
That's just some like parting words. I just want to say, hey, if there's any like young nukes watching this by any chance, if you're waiting to go in the pipeline, like you're in debt, you're thinking about it, shout out Reddit, form your own opinion. Don't like listen. There's like a lot of negativity about it. Like, form your own opinion. In my opinion, it's still be worth it. And if there's anyone in like A school or power school watching this, I know it's hard. I know it really sucks at times. Don't ring the bell. Don't tap out. It's never worth it. Just grind through it. Because grass is actually greener on the other side. Prototype's awesome. Getting your own house is awesome. E4 bonus. It's never worth it to ring the bell. I've seen it so many times at this point. Just use your peers to motivate you and use your leadership to motivate you.
Damn, it sounds like they need to be calling Valterra if they get to that point.
Yeah. Boy, I
like they gonna be in your
bell.
DMs. They gonna be in your DMs. Like,
feel free to message me if need be.
That's what's up, Valterra. Thanks for taking that stand on that. What about you, Jones? You got some final thoughts?
Well, one, I am happy to be on this podcast. It was such an enjoyment. But for all the sailors out there watching, male, female, like I stated before, silence is not the answer. And there's something really going on with you, mentally, physically, just emotionally, whatever. Get that help, okay? And I say that because a lot of people suffer in silence, and suffering in silence is to let it fill the mind. And people fail to realize that, but that is what happened. It kills the mind, and then once that happens, you're going down this dark path. So let's try to stay away from that. If there's someone you can talk to, anyone you can talk to, I mean, you can message me if you want, just about the Yahoo baby, so I'll get back to you when I can. But little infant. But I'm definitely here, and I'm pretty sure everyone in this podcast is definitely here. But reach out to family members or just anyone in general, just to get that help. Because suffering in silence is not the answer.
Hey, well, I want to tell y'all that we appreciate y'all, for doing this with us, sitting here with us for a couple of hours. I know it's getting late for everybody. So in order to get with y'all, it took a while, and I'm glad y'all kind of, was patient through all of that. But we hadn't been doing any episodes for about a month. we were supposed to have somebody else on here, but their like chain of command wanted to like screen questions and all that stuff. And so it takes a little bit of heart to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna come in here, we're gonna have conversations and stuff like that. Like some people might think like we're not gonna try to trap y'all or not like that. We just want to have a good conversation. I think we opened up like in the middle and like, you know, we kind of got a little bit more organic. I say that to say that like whenever y'all want to, you know, come up here again, I think we done shook the first time jitters off. Like, so whenever y'all want to come up here, like if it was earlier, I feel like we could have probably went on for another 2 hours and had like a, you know, really intimate conversation. But whenever y'all want to come back, just let us know. Just come through, man. Keep us. It's almost like a, you know, it's a PTSF kind of like thing where like a lot of the people we talk to wound up making rank. You know what I mean? Like most of our guests, you know, so good luck with that. But thanks, man. I appreciate y'all like honesty, y'all openness, the dichotomy of each of y'all, and we got lucky there. I didn't even expect that. But yeah, thank y'all, man. And whenever y'all want to come on, let us know and keep in touch because we got y'all's back.
Yeah, for sure. Y'all were amazing. Thank y'all for your
Don't
honesty.
Be an F now.
Don't be no F. Don't be no F.
Hey, I'm gonna end you guys. I'm gonna end with some stuff too, man. Hey, you guys. Hey, first off, hey, thank you guys for being on the pod, man. It's a big deal, man. But I also want to end it with a, and for the listeners too, man. Find that work-life balance, man. Find that. That's the key to a whole lot of stuff, man, that you're gonna do in the future. Trying to find that. Don't overwork yourself. You got a family, you know, all that stuff, man. Find that balance. And I guarantee you, it is a pay dividends in the future for you guys, man. And other than that, man, thank you guys for being on the pod. You guys already know what it is, Mississippi. You already know.
Look at that fucking shirt. Oh, God. Nastier and nastier. Shit.